All right. Welcome. It's game 2 of Titans Challengers Cup, Titans Division. On the attack here today, we have Exsouls leading us off on the map of Bind. Uh, which is, I believe, their map pick. I am checking again. It is their map pick.
Perfect.
Going up against Ultima, who have decided to start on defense, which excellent decision from them. Bind, at least from my experience, has been a very defensive sided map, especially given the current meta of running a lot of Yoru. There's so much Yoru. It's practically unbelievable, I feel. But yeah, Yoru, fast rotating, always been a great agent.
Yep.
When it comes to setting up fights on defense, moving around the map, being a very highly mobile agent, as I've said, I think 3 times now. Um, but yeah, Yoru is so good right now that I won't be surprised if we see him on all 3 maps today, especially given that it is Bind, Haven, and Abyss, which are 3 of the best maps for
Mhm.
Yoru in the current map pool.
Yeah, and he also fills in that initiator role that we see a lot of gaps in within the lower elos. So hopefully we'll see a good amount of Yoru just because I love that when people take him and play him as an info agent, he does amazing at gathering information, especially with that ult that his clone can get some information if you play his TP right, that can get some audio information about everything in his kit, can get you information if you play it correctly. I hope that we see Yoru because honestly, it's so fun to watch Yoru players just absolutely wreak havoc on the lobby. Um, does look like we got both Vipers, we got a double Senti over on attack. And actually, no, sorry, not double Senti, double controller over on attack. And I also see Harbor and Viper over on defense. I'm very excited to see this, but we don't see their duelists yet. So let's see if we get that. Oh,
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah. Just another sort of added layer on top of this whole Yoru discussion that we've been having. With the initiator changes that have happened recently, we've gone a far stray away from the double initiator meta that sort of plagued Valorant for a lot of its early time of all of its early years, going back towards the like very core and beginning of Valorant, which was the double duelist, sending it in together, taking that space, using that whatever limited utility that was available at that point to just get onto site, fast flood back, take as many fights as possible. And as we're seeing here, it is just back to that like 2023 2022 style of play of running these double controller with a duelist comp, or double controller double controller with a single Senti, or for the side of, I believe, Ultima, it is the double controller double initiator with these 2 info initiators that allow for a lot of space to be taken, a lot of space to be held, and a lot more fight initiation when it comes to having that waylay available, who's also inherently good at grabbing information and setting up the fights for the rest of the teammates, especially with the Clove on the field for the side of Ultima as well.
yep. And I also wonder if we are gonna see a little bit of these controller agents play their pseudo class. Viper can be played as a pseudo controller. She's very good at holding sight if you play her correctly. And I think that if she has her, what's it called? She has her decay. It got nerfed recently, which I think was honestly a very huge disservice to her kit due to the pseudo sentinel capabilities of it. Just like Harbor, he has some pseudo senti abilities. But when you're looking at Brimstone, he has some pretty interesting util. He can be a pseudo any if he really wants to. Clove, they can be a pseudo initiator, or not a pseudo initiator, a pseudo duelist if they need an extra entry or something like that. There's a lot of versatility with these kits that I see from both sides, and I'm honestly really excited. Um, and I do also believe that we're gonna see some pretty good setups with this Waylay and this Fade going in.
Yeah, Waylay has a lot of fun that can be had on a map like Bind with the teleporters and the refract.
Oh,
especially
absolutely.
on defense. You can take that TP from long, go over to showers, and take a peek over there with the Sky Flash or whatever sort of combination of util you want to use. The Sky and the
Mhm.
Fade will offer so much flexibility for these Waylay comps that you're almost seeing one or both of these agents in this
No
situation being
charges.
paired with her.
Mhm.
Although for Exsouls, we have the Rays instead, which is getting more information out of the duelist. With
Mhm.
the boombot, with the nade, you can flush out people. You can use the satchel to help initiate fights. With the initiator nerf, you're seeing a lot more of agents being played with multiple purposes in mind beyond just Neon runs it down or Reyna goes flash and takes fights.
Mhm.
There's these waylays that are dashing in and dashing out for the info. There are the Razes who are sending in boombots and nades and satcheling to try and create space for the secondary duelist or for the follow-up dive. You're having Astras, hard anchor sights with the stun. Every agent needs to have multiple capabilities. It's why we're seeing a lot less KO than we did in perhaps previous metas, because KO really only fills the initiator niche, can't really fight on his own as capable as,
Mhm.
let's say, a Chamber or a Yoru.
Yeah, and I also think that every class has its own where like you can play them and they will fill in a double if you really truly need it. Like Harbor, he had a if you did a pseudo senti with his walls, he was everything, especially when he didn't have his cove and his blind working the way that they did. Now with his new kit, he's a little more senti controller than he was before, because before all you could do was use his stuff to hold. But you know, when you're looking at agents like Cypher, he's like a mega senti, if you will, I guess is how you
No
would phrase
charges.
that. Um, you know,
Pierce.
every agent has its own type of way that they play their role. And I think that every pseudo role can really be added, or it can just not have to be used at all, and you can focus on one part of that person's kit if you really, really need to, just to get the round win. Like Sova, I can play post plant with him all day long like a sentinel, but I have absolutely no idea how to play him on a site defense. You know what I'm like, or he's weak at
Yeah,
it when he doesn't have his ultimate, because his ultimate is so huge in site defense, it's crazy.
exactly.
So you know, every agent has its own way to play around these. It's just a matter of how the player uses the agent. Um, you know, and I wonder how this defense is going to play, because they do have a pretty aggressive comp when you aren't looking at their Viper. Um, and even so, Viper's wall makes it so easy to push into A. It makes it so easy to push into showers. You can do so much with about this entire comp over on Ultima. They have such an aggressive and push forward comp, and I'm really excited to see how this all plays out, because it also does look like Exodus has a pretty similar comp as well. So hopefully we'll see a good amount of aggression and good plays.
Absolutely. Although I believe we are having technical difficulties currently. It would seem that one of the players on Ultima is having connection issues.
Mhm.
We may see the servers need to be switched over to Texas from the ILI that they were on previously, with a game restart, which unfortunate, but it's better to have the game happen than not, I believe, after everyone waiting so patiently for this game to get started. But yeah, again, with all these discussions, we haven't even gotten to the players yet, because again, this is the first game that both these teams have played so far. With the information that we were able to grasp, a lot of these players are in that like mid ascendant to mid diamond range. So
Yes.
we are, again, this is gonna be perfect Valorant. I don't think anyone's expecting perfect Valorant from anybody ever. But it's gonna be interesting seeing what choices are being made by a lot of these players, especially given the comps. We have a clove on
Mhm.
bind, which we don't see that almost ever. We're seeing Sky Fade, which I don't think has been happening very often in professional games. It's all about comfortability when it comes to these comps, and having a good understanding of what works for a
Mhm.
team rather than what the absolute peak is given
Mhm.
a certain comp or character is very important.
Yeah, and also in VCT, we have been seeing a new team come about. I believe it's Envy, and there are a bunch of sign-ons from YouTube tryhards in comp, and they play amazingly. And that is a very, very, very perfect example of how a lot of players and teams need to also work around what the person plays. Because if you
Absolutely.
are putting someone who doesn't know how to play initiator on an initiator, it's not going to go, excuse me, it's not going to go very well. And it's the same about across every single agent. But when you run into comps, another thing too is if you're going against a team and you know that their comp is going to be way too hard, sometimes a switch around can be the most beneficial thing, but familiarity, I think, is the most important thing, especially when you're looking at lower esports, especially when you're going into really, really low elo. Comfortability is way more important than comp, I think, personally.
Absolutely. There are going to be oftentimes we're going to see, especially in this league as we go through the weeks, is there's going to be a comp that's going to be almost engineered to perfectly hard counter another comp.
Hmm.
If anyone's been watching VCT today, we saw that happen with, I believe, Gentlemates versus Paper X on Haven. The
Hmm.
double duelist comps are almost always going to prevail against the double controller slower style of play. But if you're comfortable on your agent and if you know what to do in every situation, the game plan is perfect. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter how much the comp hard counters because if you play better, you're going to win. And that works both ways when it comes to playing a comp that hard counters, a comp that gets hard countered.
Hmm.
You need to understand what you're supposed to do. That's what comes with familiarity is that you have played if you're your one trick, you played 3 billion hours of Yoru. You know what to do in every situation on Yoru. But if you
Yeah.
put that Yoru one trick onto Jet when Jet is a better pick, you're not going to get a better result because of that lack of time spent on Jet. It's sometimes going to be better to focus on that comfortability. It's why we see Cypher still, even though Cypher is objectively worse than some other Sentis right now. That's why we aren't seeing Vito a lot in despite a meta where Vito would perhaps be very good. Comfortability and knowing what you're supposed to be doing in every time, even if you're being paid to play the game, changes
Yeah.
what happens in any match in every situation very dramatically. It
Hmm.
matters so much more than I think people understand. Is that comfortability, even on a map to map basis, changes so much to the point where you're basically seeing a different player every game.
Hmm. And not only that, but you'll see very different players when you're running into different maps, even if they're playing the same agent, because agents are never played the same on every single map. If you were to try and force out arrays on Breeze, which I don't think anyone should be doing, but
You
if
never
you try
know.
to force, if you, yeah, you never know. If you try to force out arrays on Breeze, a lot of what you got to do is more so just space clearing instead of entrying, because at that point your util is not enough to actually get into the site by your own. So if you clear the space, then your team can try to back up your space taking and do the entry for you. But you throw Raze on bind and she's just a powerhouse. She's throwing nades and paint everywhere, and you can't, she can entry on her own well fine. It's just all up to the map, even if the agent is all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to back that up, it's why we see
Interesting.
Brim. It's why we see Brim on maps now instead of like on Omen,
Yeah.
on like maps like Bind and Fracture, and even to an extent onto Abyss, where we're seeing Brim being
Hmm.
played because of that pseudo sending capability. Everything ties
Yeah.
together here. So why we've been yapping for so long is that we can just go
Hmm.
circular forever, because we're waiting for the game to start.
We're waiting for the game to
um,
start.
yeah, but we are loading back in. It's looking like we're going to be getting the same agents. Yeah, a bit of waffling going on from Ultima, but in the end
All the
comps are
same
the
agents.
same. I don't think they would have been allowed to switch comps because I feel like that would be a bit of cheating slash counter swapping, which is
Hmm.
we only see that on Overwatch and a
Yeah.
little bit of Marvel Rivals, but I haven't played the game enough to know if that's a real issue.
Oh,
But
I
hey,
see
we're
it in
here.
Marvel Rivals. I see it
Mhm.
in Marvel Rivals so much. I don't play the esports, but I do play it every now and again, and I've like dabbled in Marvel Rivals. Valorant has taken over my life, though, unfortunately.
All right. Well,
I
hey,
think
it's fine.
it's all right. It's an okay game. But I do think that is gonna be a lot of back and forth due to both of them being very aggressive comps. The Exodus doesn't have much. Well, they have a good amount of aggression. It's just if they can manage to fight out Ultima's aggression and trying to get him to site. It's a lot of just battling it out with the same util over and over again. It's a lot of the same agents back and forth. And it's also a lot of util to try and get through. I'm just glad we're not seeing a Harbor and a Neon in the same one. That was a chaos match in VCT history.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and these are two comps that I think we've seen a lot of success in the past when it comes to just the archetypes of the Raze with a Senti, Fnatic, obviously 2023. That's obviously the first thought you'd be going towards, and then with a double initiator, you can think of any team in history that's ever played Bind. You'll probably find a point where they play a double initiator, double controller. But the game's about to start. Look at that, we're here. It's been, I'm not gonna check how long it's been, but we're here, and we're leading off with Ultima, or no, with Exsouls going for an A-short exploration, already taking a jump peek and spotting out, I think, 4 players over there. Has to smoke out quickly and run away. Lei finds a pick over towards Showers, and the whole control has been established for Exsouls. But in the meantime, it's quiet. Smoke's already down on the smoke to the A site, over towards mid site and triple. Allowing for a fast plant play as 4 players from Ultima are stacked over towards the A site. With the TP over. Bankai left alone, fought out by the flash. They know about his presence over towards Long. It looks like Bankai goes for a pop flash play, jumps through the wall, gets the kill with a full blind of Bankai. But the fast play over towards the site. It's a 3v3 now. No, Daka getting those kills. It's a 1v3 for Artie and picked off through the wall by Kojam. It's a very early round win, a very quick, decisive play by Exsouls to get that, to tap that play, take that TP, and take site control.
That was a beautiful rotate. The plant fake kind of tripped him out a little bit, made him take a second before they started rotating off the teleports. It confused him, and that was very, very well played by Exodus. It does look like they're doing that classic Viper wall that goes through the teleporters and sends out over into Showers. We see that same Viper wall cutting right through A, but it does also look like they got a split going on, so let's see how this one works out.
Yeah, and it's also a point to mention they lost the chamber at the very beginning of the round. Dean was just picked off early over towards Showers. So that was a 4v5 round win with only 1 player lost after losing the chamber. So it was a very good, calm win. And we're just seeing a map-wide default right now. Long control over towards B has already been established. Quiet again. Everyone's just walking around trying to find space, not trying to overpeak, give any free picks. As I believe we're seeing Dean over towards Showers take that space. Sauce over here in Long. Over towards that Broctagon place, as some may say now. Spectre, just waiting for some kind of aggression to come out. After all, they are playing against the Eco, so any player taken down from Exsouls is just a monumental investment that is lost. And it looks as if we're seeing
Don't miss me too much.
the B hit come to fruition. They come to the backside, flash around towards his back. Over towards site, taken down. Already still hiding inside the clove smoke.
1 enemy remaining.
Just still not spotted out. I don't think they're expecting
30 seconds left.
the advantage shot ring out. Not a kill found though. And Sauce from the top ropes with the right click gets that kill. It's a good clean anti-eco to win round 2 for Exsouls.
Very beautiful. Definitely minimized how much they died so that they could keep those guns. Definitely minimized how much damage was taken into them so that they can keep those shields. They waited out the timer. They made them antsy. Making them antsy helps a lot in terms of the push because in your brain, you don't hear anything, so you're thinking, oh, they're not there. So you want to move, and it gets you antsy. I've had that issue happen so many times, and I think that Exodus is using that little mind trick to their advantage.
Absolutely. And again, it's just sort of a map-wide default, at least towards the B side. But over towards A, Sauce is already taking control of Showers. Would love to get an opinion on that one as we move over towards the Shower position. Yeah, it's a 5v3, and the guns are just being grabbed. Not much damage dealt either, although Sauce has lost all the utility hidden in their belt. Smoke's coming down over to the mid side. Sauce slowly trying to creep forward. Bankai over towards Heaven is just barely out of sight. But it looks like Dean spotted Bankai out. getting them down to 1
Last
HP,
player standing.
and then spam through the smoke afterwards. It's an absolutely terrible round for Ultima right now. It's a flawless from Exsouls, and it looks like Wagyu wants no business taking a part of this retake.
Spike
He's
planted.
gonna go for the save and the attacker spawn. Absolute demolition from Exsouls. It all starts with the showers take.
That was honestly a pretty quick round at the start. It just looks like a very basic save at this point. Honestly, very smart since they bought out. They weren't able to get some full shields, but it does look like they were able to keep their shields in the first place and keep their gun. Hopefully, we'll see if they chase. And honestly, beautiful round from Exodus. This is gonna get them on a snowball, and it's gonna possibly cause some harsh issues for Ultima. And they may just next half seems so much more promising for Ultima, but we'll have to see. It's gonna be a pretty rough game due to the snowballing that Exodus is about to hold off. It looks like they're wanting to gravitate towards the A side. Never mind, they're going through cave.
Yeah. A lot of A-side leans come out from Exsouls early, and it's just the strength of playing a chamber. Is that you can with the TP, you have so much more freedom just off rip to fight out over towards that like lobby showers position, that you're just able to get in and out for free. And although Dean has died, I think once or twice around that fight, it's still a very powerful position, very easy spot to play in. And again, we're seeing this back over towards A. Sauce wanting no part of letting this come to fruition. Rips the Raise Rocket, doesn't exactly get a kill with it, but gets so much space in the meantime. Neverland taken out by Dean, trying to collect on a kill.
Spike planted.
The Boombot also explodes as well. The A site is just being fully taken over. And Ultima is left in a 4v5 take. All Sheriffs and Dean with that outlaw. And with the Headhunter gets 4. The Eco Hunter truly coming to life here.
What a beautiful round from that chamber. Holy cow. That was beautiful. I wonder... Man, Ultima is just gonna struggle a lot to come back from this. This is gonna be a really rough half for them, but it does look like they're gonna try to switch up... maybe they're not switching up a thing. I don't think that
Nothing at all.
What'd you say?
Nothing at all. The same spots.
Oh. You're right. Okay. It does look like they're gonna go for a B hit here too. So hopefully this Viper can do some damage and defending.
Yeah. If I'm Ultima's coach here, which I didn't know if they have a coach, I want people to play so much more proactive in these rounds. They're playing so far back. Look at the B site right now. There's a player in halls and a player in elbow. If Exsouls were to just walk out on a site, there'd be no information. No one would know. And I think that's maybe a fundamental misunderstanding as to how Bind is supposed to be played, is that you want to control the lanes of the map. You want to control B-Long and showers. You want to control, keep hookah control even to an extent. It seems that, I mean, already gets a kill, so maybe I should just be quiet and let them play. It feels like Exsouls just have walk up short, get a kill. Bind is such a confusing map if you don't have the reps on it, and clearly Exsouls picked this map with a plan behind it. And as the plan comes down here, again, look how far back Ultima has to play. They're all the way in pipes. They have to flash retake through CT. And Wagyu gets those kills early. The retake's good. If they can be like this every round, then it'd be beautiful. But this is the first time where you've seen this maybe beginning a semblance of a collected retake, and it is successful in the end. 4 players left alive, so the Econ can begin to stabilize itself a little bit. But Exsouls with a 4-round advantage at the very beginning, it's a near Herculean task to get through, to even make it even. You have to win 4 rounds in a row here to get the score tied. And it was off the back of maybe some misplays and out-aiming on the side of Exsouls in the post plan. We had Dean out towards the corner of backside, just taking a shot into a sky flash.
Yeah, and I also kind of saw that. I think if they were to get this even, it would take more than just these 4 rounds.
Find the weak point.
Just because Exodus seems to have such a tight hold on how this map plays, because when you don't have a mid, it makes it so much more confusing, because mid control is like the bread and butter of almost every single map on this game. So with Bind having no map, it makes it rough. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And there's also just an interesting thing. Exsouls hasn't placed their Viper wall yet. So unless that's a set strat or just a pure-blooded mistake, we're seeing a lot of space taken towards short early without the wall, and they're just already walked up over towards the U-haul position, ready to take a fight. And again, Exsouls has front side control. They're ready to plant, and by that time, like there hasn't even been a kill taken yet. Ultima seems afraid to take a fight.
Right here.
Snow
Is he-
is close to pipe. I think Nerla's gonna get pretty close here.
Sleep. My ult is ready.
Good tight on the spray there.
Bring them
Bombs
down.
down towards Triple. Bombs out of play. Bench position, and oh wow, shots are good. This will be a 3v5 from Ultima here to get the round. Molly comes in from Kojam.
Last player standing.
Bomb isn't mollied. Dean left over towards short. The Viper orb in the way. Spam.
One enemy remaining.
But the reload from one
goodness.
guy, he had like one bullet.
Did you see those
And just
faces?
Dean just
Sorry.
swings, sprays them down. Both of them not confident on the teammates. Got off bomb previously from what we saw earlier.
Oh my goodness, oh, that got smacked. That's a lot to unpack.
Felt like that should not happen.
That should not have happened at all. They, being so tight together made that really, really rough on them, I think. If they would have spread out a little bit and holding their angles, it wouldn't have been such an easy collateral for Dean to take. If grouping up can have its benefits, but it can also have its downsides.
Absolutely. And
Slow
yeah,
down.
Exsouls again, they're putting a premium on this A short control. This time they're actually the Viper wall there, so good up on them. That medal from Ultima hit all 3 players in short, which great value from the medal.
Big value.
This orbit A short gets so much value on these defaults, but not when Dean just takes long control by himself, gets the kill on Wagyu. Ooh, just already is forced to swing early because of that early pick. That's his 3v5 again. Things just falling apart for Ultima very quickly. We're seeing why Exsouls why this match Sauce, oh my.
One enemy
forced to swing
remaining.
early. Zaki gets the kill and Dean on the lurk finds the last on the Bankai. And it's looking very clean right now from
That
Exsouls.
was
Very
good.
well drilled.
Nose around, yeah.
We're seeing why they are, with the research I did, they're in the contender division of Premier. They were 1 game away in the playoffs from making it to invite. We're seeing why this is a true fact about them as a team.
And I think that they also have, I can tell that they have a playbook for this. They are playing this very, very particularly. So they have a plan. We do see a timeout right now from Ultima. Wagyu has started it, and I believe that their whole premise right now of what they need to do in order to win is just play it more aggressive and together, because they seem so anxious to want to push or want to really do anything to contest the space that they have. I think that their idea is they play retake, and since their aggression is so big, that the retake will be easy due to how weak they are when they're just sitting and holding. But the thing is they aren't weak when they're sitting there and holding. They are also fairly good, but Ultima has that huge aggressor team. Every single one of their agents can be played aggressively if you try hard enough. And I mean, I guess every agent can, but still, you get what I'm trying to say. It's just, I think that their idea is to play retake because of that, but I don't think that it's something that they should be doing. I think they need to be contesting that space, and we do see them doing that. They're trying to contest that B long space here, but A side isn't taking much to contest. At least they're just not sitting in B.
Yeah, the main issue with playing retake into what Exsouls have been doing is that Exsouls has been taking space without using util. Like, they're just taking those swings, just taking a jiggle, getting shots off and leaving, which means that with the amount of util that they aren't using, they can save that for the anti-retake. We saw as when went for the flood plays, as Dean gets that kill, they have flash. Exsouls has flashes to try and stop that from happening. The dog used to take cool hole. Exsouls still has both flashes on that sky. Daka saving them both. They didn't need to use the seekers to try and get the bomb down or get the site space. They just walked up and swung. These aren't execs. These are just adventurers that they're just walking as Exsouls is just walking around the map and taking space, getting kills. It doesn't feel fair. It feels like Exsouls are walking onto sites and getting a kill or two, and then Ultima's left to play in a 2v3, 2v5, 3v5, 3v4, any sort of
One enemy remaining.
And Lei is just trying to bait some fight closer to them, get to John and Dean, to at least create a mark on the round, and Exsouls is up 7-1 already.
Ain't that beautiful?
I don't know about beautiful. It feels like bullying. And
Feels hauntingly beautiful. How's that?
yeah, it feels like Exsouls went into this with a playbook on exactly how Ultima is going to play, and Ultima is showing up for the vibes.
It looks like they're I don't know how to phrase this reference, but I think how they're playing it out is they're gonna have a lot more defensive over towards A, and just letting them try to take that B with them pushed up like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the struggle of not being aggressive and taking space, because without being aggressive and taking space, well, Exsouls doesn't need to use util. And here we're seeing the showers take. Or the showers fight for Ultima. They got that pick early, which means now Exsouls either needs to spend a lot more time to walk around the map and retake that space, or to use util and retake that space. And what we're seeing now is a remarkable slowdown over towards the B site, where we're having a 2-player walk up over towards Hookah, and a 3rd player just playing around towards the market area. It's Exsouls being left with kind of not a great plan on what to do, and going for what seems to be a B hit here with the 3 players. But we have Kojam across the map, flash, so that's not great for Sauce. And already gets 2 kills, making that clove ring true. Daka left alone over towards the site.
Down,
Gets
B.
killed by Artie, but Kojam on that lurk over towards Showers gets 2. And some would call it the clutch for the ages. It's a 1v5 for Kojam. Already have gotten 2 kills of their own. Smoke comes down in their face. Got to jump out of Hookah and get 2. And then kill the Viper over towards Long, which I don't think is great. But might as well go for it. It's your Kojam. The money is beautiful and prosperous. The wealth of the nation is secured. But Ultima gets that round win, and I'm not going to call it a comeback just yet, but I won't say it's impossible. Already has the not dead yet. Neverland has the Nightfall. Lei with the convergent paths. all of these are amazing pieces of Utah that can single-handedly win a round.
The wealth of the nation is secured. I'm using that now. That round was honestly beautiful. Artie did very nice at defending B from that push. They took their wigs off, they made them bald, and now they're forcing him over on A, where they're gonna do a showers push. And they've had their sights on it forever. People have always been going in showers, so let's see how they play that.
Yeah, it is the playbook that you mentioned earlier. This is the second time we've seen this exact same showers play happen, except this time Exsouls didn't get 2 kills for free. And important to mention is that last round Lei had an op, but because Lei died over towards A site, no players were able from B were able to go pick up the op, which means the op has been lost, which just leaves rifles available. Which, I mean, we've seen rifles work, but Sauce is, like, again, with talking about how the walk up, Sauce was pretty much in U-Haul and was able to TP out for free because of the Viper all over towards short. There has been no contention over towards short. If when you're running a clove, you have the regenerative smokes, don't be afraid to just put down smokes for the fun of it. You have the space to do that. You have the room to work with, as opposed to a brilliant total. And as this B-side comes in, if the hit comes in, get their hits. Nightfall comes out. It's a showstopper being used.
30 seconds
No, getting fully hit by it. Neverland getting 2, Lei getting another. Neverland with a 3rd.
Down,
Dean
B.
has lurked all the way through showers and is now in the defender's spawn.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
When you're playing against Cobb, you're expecting flank, and when you're playing against Dean, you're expecting a lurk over towards showers, and that's what Ultima was ready for, and they get a 2nd round in a row.
I honestly gobsmacked Neverland even caught that.
I've only got 3.
I know Neverland was just absolutely nuts this round. I'm surprised he even caught that Dean was back behind him, but I'm even more gobsmacked that they pushed that way. Here I think they need to try to gravitate away from A. As good as it is, the sightings are just a tad bit too open for their util as tight as small as their util AoEs are.
Yeah, we're seeing a Seekers coming out early for the site hit over towards B. Again, there's no one playing in hookah, which means that the B site is up for grabs. And it just comes in immediately, smashing out the sauce. It's kill on the Bong side. The Bong side has to run around to the nade, and the Molly's being placed down. Already spends some util against the smoke down, but Neverland caught through the smoke. That's the raid boss down from last round. And without Nightfall, Lay's just left with Convergent Pass and a 3v5. The Viper Orb in the face. And we saw Ultima have such a high. Now they're brought down to an immediate low, struck down because of the Seekers and just the lack of play over towards the B site. And Exsouls, I'm not going to say anything's impossible, but it's looking impossible. RD is being forced away over to the elbow. Smoke coming down to CT, trying to allow for a crossover as Daka.
One enemy remaining.
Sauce, go for the swing, and RD just gets caught. And Lays with the save with the up. Gets one, has to run for the hills.
That was so unfortunate.
That should be able to get alive here as long as they don't go for the swing.
Last
They
round
swing.
before the switch.
That was too close.
Yeah.
So there, I think something that Ultima needed to do was sit in hookah, as you said, hookah, garden. Those are such big factors on getting into B that I think they do not need to be ignored. They did good in putting a good amount of agents over on A. Due to the retake potential, B is a hard retake, so if you have more agents off of it to play the retake versus having agents on it to have to back up with some util wasted damage, then it's a lot easier and better to play said retake.
And we're already leading off with it. Insanely fascinating. He has Sauce go for a double sash on the site. It's important to mention that there was a Brimwalt used in U-Haul, just forcing everyone into running around the map in an unfavorable position. And Spike has planned again, and it's a 5v5 retake. But Link should have a good angle to use this divergent pass on out through U-Haul and short. Uses it over there. Hits, I think, 3 people. Leaves Daka and Snow alone to just take fights. Artie and Wagyu get the kills. The Seeker finds Daka. The reaction is quite fast enough. Artie now looks like flashing as they run out of ammo. And Lay and Artie get the kills. And the site retake is secured. 4 rounds on defense for Ultima as they come to life in the second half of the first half.
Worried for a
And
second.
they managed to cut a good few rounds in. Perhaps making their next half
Switching
at least
sides.
doable. Making it close.
Be too bad, especially for Ultima. Ultima has some pretty good aggressive players. Not only are their players pretty aggressive, but the agents themselves have the kit to be aggressive. So their players can play pretty decently. I think it's just a matter of trying to get past Exodus, because they do hold site pretty decently, but it may start to fall apart once they get over here. I think we have 4 on B. Am I going insane about that?
This is 4 players on B, but
Okay.
I trust Dean to be able to get out safely because there's
yeah.
going for a contest over towards a short. There's a trip over towards showers. And
Oh
also,
yeah, he has it
with the
down.
dog TP out. Yeah, Dean is just going to be fully leaving. And this is similar to the play that we saw Ultima go for in the first half with the retake setup. But as we're seeing, the stark difference, Exsouls fully just has taken through B long. Dean was probably supposed to leave site there. We saw a lot of issues come up with that last half where Ultima seemed to have a lot of mistake when it came to what sites were being entered, what sites were being retake. And Wagyu, again, this lack of cohesion. Bankai is just over towards bench, not helping out with the fight, as Wagyu was just left in a 1v3 towards showers. Daka getting the kill on delay. Damage is decent. Neverland
player
taking a fight,
standing.
gets a kill. If he got Daka, that might become a very doable round. Bankai gets one. We're not ready for Snow to be over towards the side of bench, and that's Exsouls winning winning both pistols this map, and it's gonna be very difficult for Ultima to get back into this game, having lost both pistols, especially with how the first half went.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough. You've seen how good Exodus can snowball, especially from that last half. Sorry if you guys couldn't hear me, I realized I was turning away from my mic. Exodus has a pretty good hand on this map. They got a pretty good hold on the enemy team. And they just know this map. It's like the back of their hand to them, I can tell. Like in that round, we saw a pretty basic push from the attack. Yeah, it's just gonna be snowballing from here.
Yeah, Bandit being tossed over to Dean allows the econ to just fully flourish even more. Although, for the side of Ultima, they aren't giving up quite yet, as Neverland does have an outlaw on the source by attack and gets the kill onto Dean. The B site is practically empty at this point. Don't think Ultima really knows that, but with Dean being killed early, they do spot out that outlaw. And we're reminded that Exsouls, despite, you know, having an insane lead, having, you know, good understanding of the map, you can still just lose because the enemy team decides to shoot better than you, or, you know, plan out better than you. And with that outlaw, we've seen that a lot of games. Daka with 2 kills, Exsouls getting the kill on delay, and things just fall apart quickly once again. Neverland taken down as well. Bankai just left alone, having pushed all the way through A short. Here's Kojam over to shots get exchanged, and the Guardian rings supreme over the Bandit. And Exsouls, they got a hat thrown at them, but the ring was just a bit too far to the left, and they get the round win anyways.
Exodus is at 10, and we got Ultima over at 4. This is Exodus's eco, so hopefully we can see Ultima try to take the snowball back, but you never really know in these situations due to how hard it can be to actually fight a team like this, especially when they've gotten your ego down in the first half. It's just so much snowballing that they gotta get through.
Absolutely, and we're seeing shots get exchanged once again. The Outlaw has been a consistent thorn in everyone's side this game. Kojam gets a pick on a Neverland early. Daka is low and can't really get healed by themselves, so it is going to be an interesting point in the game to get through. We're trying to round Sauce and pull away. That's the issue when it comes to fortifying on attack. Is that you have to play as the Outlaw. There's 2 of them that need to be countered this round, as Sauce brought down low by Bankai, not quite able to land the shot, despite Bankai being 1 shot. Every player right now is currently 1 shot to the Outlaw from Sauce, so there's going to be a lot of danger when it comes to this round. The Danger Man, perhaps. Smoke comes over on the top truck. It seems as if we're going to be seeing a plant come down soon, but we're seeing how fearful Ultima are in this position. They know how often Exsouls have been taking space around the map. Artie with a nade and nearly a molly gets the head taken off by Sauce. It's just so dangerous this game. Flash comes in, Artie with the metal gets flashed again by the team, but Kojam makes the kill. Bankai at least with a trade, but it's on the player in heaven. The heal comes out, getting Kojam nearly back up to full. It's left the Bankai and Wagyu. Both 5 and 12 right now. Kojam smoked off, gets killed. Wagyu swings out, gets the lineup! And that's a 1v3 for Wagyu. And Ultima are not dead yet. They still got some fight left in them.
That was beautiful. We do. I also have just been informed that Exodus is not their name, and it is Exsouls. My deepest apologies. I have not. I don't have multiple monitors. I was told forever ago. My deepest apologies. But that one was pretty interesting. We saw Ultima retake through Lamps, and it obviously worked pretty decently. Lamps has always been pretty big for the A retake, just to take A in general. But Wagner just got a lineup. I don't know what else to say about that one.
Yeah, I do want to see Ultima go for a bit more map-wise. So greedy.
Wow.
That's a very greedy play to make, trying to make a big play. Just sticking around with a TP, one would have been plenty. And this is pretty much exactly what I wanted Ultima to do, is to use the overwhelming utility to take space at a certain part of the map, and then using the utility that they have left over to continue to take more space around the map. They took that B-long control, they used a flash over towards Hookah early, and this entire time Bankai has been using this wall to get around the map and makes his way up a short. Nade nearly gets the kill, forced out. But Snow is in this
Last player
position,
standing.
but already with a good peek, getting value out of this cloak pick, just running around the map, no fear, because the not dead yet ultimate being available. And that's a 6th round now for Ultima. They're trying to make this comeback real. They're trying to claw their way back up into a respectable map. Even if they lose this map, you know, we can't say they didn't try.
During that one, I think that they're starting to get their snowball back. I think they're starting to roll again, but it's so many rounds to have to come back from and get over them. This half, though, could be honestly very well played out. It's the Sentinel that they are missing that makes it hard to keep said site. But B-site, maybe they're golden, because it's honestly a really hard retake for that defense. Ooh.
And yeah, we're seeing this now. It's a common play that you'll be seeing on ecos from a lot of teams. And it's a 2-for-1 exchange. Snow, 1 HP, no heal available, so we're probably going to be seeing them get taken out early as Lay gets to kill the Dean. Using that refract to try and get back out of dodge.
One enemy remaining.
Corner isn't clear.
Spike down A.
Snow does not know the trigger discipline. Gets killed as well. It's a 3v1 for Kojam. I don't know if a Bucky is going to be the ideal
Spike
gun for
planted.
this scenario, but there is a gun just around the corner available to be grabbed. Phantom, so not quite impossible, but it's going to be difficult. Running around, trying to find an angle, is heard. Play with the slow land. And then there's a siege on top of it. Kojam is not being allowed to get past this wall of a smoke, and Wagyu gets the kill. It's important. Every ultimate from
Let's go.
the side of Ultima is going to be able to nearly single-handedly win a round if used correctly. Nightfall is going to be able to take a site control completely easily. Not dead yet. You make it a 6v5. A Viper's Pit can make a retake almost impossible. Seekers can open up and win you a round. For the side of Exsouls, there is no ultimate that can quite guarantee what to do unless it's in a very special situation. The Seekers can open up a round, but you can't instantly win a round off of it. There's not as much agency on the defense when it comes than the attack when it comes to making plays like that. And we're seeing a lot of plays before. Puka, Daka takes a fight early with a flash alongside Sauce, gets the kill in an Everland, but it's brought down low. And again, there's going to be an issue of not being able to heal themselves, but you know, with the pick, I think you're allowing yourself to take a bit of damage there as Dean finds Bonkai on the lurk over towards Showers. Bonkai forced out of the showers, forced out of a short lurk because there is a trip now there that needs to get broken in order to even make an advance. And Ultima is ultimately getting shut down towards these extremities that they were making use of so much in the previous rounds. Spam comes in, Wagyu forced to heal the teammate. And again, it's just quiet. You have to throw some sort of wrench into things, but Exsouls is perfectly fine playing slow. Again, they have full info everywhere they go. And it's because of this more forward play. Kojam is spotting the walkout long, but Lay gets the kill. We have Daka ready to take a flash.
I've got your trail.
You're not comfortable making that. Sauce in Puka is holding for a push, but gets hit by the Seeker, so it's forced back.
30 seconds.
Every single one of these positions is being lost in translation. All these plays have been nearly forgotten. Metal comes out over towards CT, but it's a TP play from Wagyu, following the rest of the team as well. Are there any smokes available to try and cut Dean off of this line? Flash, dash. Not quite good, but already gets the kill.
10 seconds
Lightspeed not
left.
getting value doesn't
Spike
matter.
planted.
And the Seekers, they're able to nearly guarantee a round with Ultima.
remaining.
Snow gets the kills on the Wagyu and Lay. Maybe not. Maybe never mind. Artie is going for a rat play. I like this play a lot, but the bomb is not quite planted for them. Snow gets on the defuse. It needs to be a great pitch. And the spam's not quite there. Sauce gets the kill. And it was nearly looking good for Ultima until the very end where they got a bit lost track that Snow was just a player that needed to be taken care of and recognized. Got a bit too laser focused on the player in short, and they lost rounds of that.
Yeah, and last round you were talking about certain ultimates being very round heavy. In terms of the Sky ult, it's very big based on your team comp because it can absolutely win you around her cabbages, but if you don't have someone following up that information, then it's not going to do very much for your team. Over on Ultima, we see a Waylay, and she can follow up Sky's cabbages so much easier.
Yeah, Dean got hit by the Skydog there. Tries to hide in the corner, but there's no TP noise, so Artie just knows to spam that corner. Also, Dean kills that spot before. The top flash is beautiful from Daka, but the counter flash as well forces him back. Can't quite get a second kill. Artie is not dead yet. Pushes in, gets the kill. Nightfall comes in as well. Lei dashes out, uses that decay damage from the Nightfall to get a shorty kill. And as quick as Ultima had lost the previous round, they are back in and getting another round. They're looking like Exsouls did last half with just these speedy plays on attack to try to reel back a potentially devastating round loss. And just a fast B hit with counter aggression on the fight long. I mean, Artie's making Clove look like a great agent right now. Just getting these kills, able to get in and get out.
Last player standing.
Just caught by the off angle of Artie. I mean, Artie is already on the way to another ultimate Wagyu as well, 3 out of 8. But Lei and Bankai, they have the Viper's Pit, they have the Convergent Cats. I want to see something incredible come out this round. We just saw them go for a fast play. I want to see just something interesting, because it's been a lot of similar showings from both teams on the attack so far, which is just playing on the map, getting space, winning around, which it's proven it's what the tactics say is what you want to be doing. The defense we've seen has had 2 rounds of pushing. I want to see more. And we go into this next round, and we're seeing some push. We're seeing a push over towards showers, which thankfully 3 players all grouped up, and we're seeing a very passive round from Ultima right now of just waiting for some kind of aggression, playing off of whatever's happening, and just making their way around the map. Dean caught out by Artie on that lurk. Bankai as well, catching Sauce off guard. Sight over towards the A short line, and it's just the site being taken right now for Ultima. Exsouls looking foolish this round as they just push into these angles that are held. Looks like Ultima have their number here at least.
That was a beautiful push and take, honestly. Ooh, you see that hookah push go pretty decently to him, actually.
Yeah, and just shots being exchanged, kills being traded. I mean, it was a 3v5 on an eco, and now a 2v3, and we've seen more ridiculous things happen this game.
We have.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard to get out through hookah into a crossfire of 3 people. Back with a flash, only catches 1, and wow, you get both of Oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my.
Wow. And the thing with...
11.
Sorry, go ahead.
And it's 9-11, so the comeback is real. Very real.
Could very much be real. I think it'll be very soon, actually, that we'll start to see a lot of desperate plays come out of both of these teams. It's basically just a battle of the attack rounds, especially if we happen to get overtime in this game. Battle of the attack rounds is basically how it's going to turn out. And that round, we saw them try to retake through hookah with an eco. Retaking through any drop is really, really hard, just due to the fact that you have a lot more open time of you not being able to shoot accurately.
Yeah. And it looks like Ultima have found their groove as these fast sight hits, again, making use of overwhelming utility. As Dean with the op takes a shot, gets forced back, Rimmel being forced out. Dean's also 1 HP, gets killed by Artie on the push through U-Haul. And it looks like Ultima, they're ready for these showers. Sauce with the showstopper.
Spike
Stops the
down
show,
A.
the plant, gets Neverland, but it's brought down to 50 HP. It's going to be a difficult play to try to get through. They hear the TP come out from Kojam. So every man for themselves been making their way through the TP to get the plant down over towards B. Sauce gets healed by Taka. Taka swatted out, getting killed by Lei. Lei makes their way over through the TP. And we're seeing the Viper's Pit getting used. This is the creativity I want to see. I want to see some bait. I want to see some fire. And Ultima
right back.
has plenty of it left in the tank, as it would seem. Sauce now left alone over towards the hall. Kojam is a mile away over towards the fountain area. How does how to even begin to get this retake done. You're in a 2v4. The Viper spits down, and it looks like a save is being called for. I will be surprised if we see an Exsouls call a timeout here. It seems like things are being lost. Whatever success they had early, and especially into this round, is being lost. Is being missing. I don't know quite what the word to use is, but Exsouls, they aren't taking those fights that we were seeing them take on attack in the early defense. What was working for them on pistol and in the anti-eco just isn't happening. That round 1 and 2 fire that we saw of these shots being taken, these fights being dueled, they lost whatever that was. It's not because they're losing the fights, although RD has been making a fine showing of that. Whenever entering, it's just they aren't putting themselves in these positions anymore.
There.
And it's the same kind of thing that we saw from the other team on this side. It was a lot of anxious fighting. They didn't take control of space how they needed to completely to counter the team at hand. I believe that this team's doing pretty decent. Exsouls is doing pretty decently on this half in terms of actually holding. It's just I think they need a lot more aggressive if they want to, like, they need to play attack on defense if they want to try to get this team to not come back.
Yeah, it's also just really weird amount of hero plays that we're seeing being made right now. Kojam is alone in Octagon right now, just waiting for a peek. And it looks like that's going to be rewarded, at least on the first. Not if you whiff! Not if you whiff! Caster Curse is fucking brutal. Oh my, play? Like, he just dashed into the smoke with a shorty out, not by the but it doesn't matter quite yet. Snow does get a pick over onto Neverland with the Guardian, so a bit of stronger fighting occurring. As Sauce gets a bit of a lag, that's not great. Daka,
Last player standing.
Hey, I there wanted less hero plays. If the hero plays work, you know? And Snow with 3 of the Guardian, all from halls, and Ultima, they stopped playing like a team. They got confident, got cocky even. They stopped trying to play like a team to start playing ranked. After already got that first pick, they thought, oh, the round's over. Nothing else being left over, but Snow, 4 spot the Guardian, not wanting to lose quite just yet, and makes it work.
Yep, and that was exactly what I was talking about last round, is that they need to take a lot more aggressive fights, and they did that. Even though they lost their Viper, it was a really good strat just because it caught the attack off guard. And got them that overtime round.
We're seeing the shower spike come out early for Ultima. Dean making use of the TP's out as Kojam is killing the Neverland. Dean got spammed down to 1 HP. But here is just everything falling apart.
Last player standing.
Exsouls, we know that they're good at aiming. It's what made them great on the defense earlier. And they just went out on all the fights this time around. With a lead of 10-4, you have so many rounds to burn before you get rounds like this. And I mean, it just happened to be twice in a row here.
Yeah. Beautiful game from both of them. That was honestly such a tight game with both of them being so attack based, if you will. But it looked like just in the end, Exsouls just locked in and got them to got to those last 2 ones and got us right into where we needed to, or where they needed to. And honestly, good game from both sides.
Absolutely. We did see a lot of great rounds of fighting. Already on Clove had 5 first bloods, and a lot of that was on the defense, or sorry, on the attack of just running up, getting a fight, taking a kill, and just getting traded. But you're playing Clove, you can die, you can pop the smokes, and if you have the ult, you can just come back to life again. Even if RD ended negative 19-20, it was a phenomenal showing from that player, and I feel that for the next game, if all of Ultima leads off on the right foot, like how they ended like how they ended on Bind, and it's their map pick as well. So I'm expecting maybe not incredible things, but I'm expecting a much closer affair throughout the entirety of the map instead of 2 fairly dominant halves from start to end.
But it does look like we're gonna be taking a 5-minute intermission just really quick. And we will be right back into the game. So we will see you in 5 minutes.
Welcome back to TCC or Titans Challenging Cup. I forgot the name of it already. Wow, I'm a great caster. We're here. Exsouls versus Ultima. Exsouls just closed out map 1 bind 13-10. It was their map pick. And we saw Ultima start off really slow, going down 1-7, but managing to stake a fairly convincing comeback, winning 9 of the next 15 rounds to give themselves a chance of winning bind, but they just start off too slow. Exsouls able to win out almost on just aim alone, managing to make their way with their better firepower, almost better map knowledge in general, um, and just made their way through the map despite having a couple of large hiccups along the way. Those speed bumps getting them to slow down a good amount, but they managed to close it out in time. They had the bank of rounds to lose, and we are going to almost, well, with our short break from before 5 minutes, we're heading into Haven right now. Both teams ready to stake their claim on the next map. I was gonna say where Haven was located, but forgot that immediately. So we're just immediately headed into the next map. We're seeing some fairly normal comps come out from both sides. Yeah, these really are just the two current meta comps right now. We're seeing a lot of double duelists come out with the Cypher. Sometimes a Killjoy if you're Nongshim. But, Exsouls sticking to the bread and butter of a double duelist comp with a strong showing from Dean last map on the chamber. Now moving over to the Yoru, but they just have teleports, so it's close enough, really. And on the side of Ultima, their structured play now being channeled into a comp we saw a lot of last season in VCT with the double controller. I want to see some good Viper work this map. I want to see some good lurks. I want to see Viper getting spots that no one should even feasibly be. But the Viper's so good, so we unfortunately won't be seeing too much of that this time around. But we will be seeing a fairly default setup. I think we saw Gen G sort of popularize this of just having the Viper wall over towards A and B, having the Killjoy just set up between Garage, B, and C. Viper playing over towards C, a bit of early aggro over towards A. It's a common strategy. A lot of people tended to steal it, and we're seeing it here now. So clearly worked out for a reason.
Yep, and I also am seeing, so also I was away and I had my headphones on. Haven is in Korea, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I know where every single map is, so I'm a lore nerd. Anyway, I do see that we got a good, it looks actually pretty even. The only thing I see double of is over on Ultima, where we see the double controller going on, and honestly, whenever it's a Viper Harbor, I don't quite consider it as double controller as I would like it to. I kind of consider it more double of both sentient controller at the same time due to how strongly they hold onto their sentinel sides. It looks like we are gonna see a pretty default play from Exsouls on this one. We got 2 in Garage holding up that B area. We got 2 in A and 1 over on C, causing a lot of info, a lot of chaos, if you will.
Yeah, and with Garage being taken so quickly, you normally expect to see a fast reaction from Ultima to rotate over, but all of them are sticking strongly to their points of the map. And we're seeing smokes come out over towards B. It's the bomb. Daka has the bomb. We're seeing an attempt at A split through B into A lane. Oh, the paranoia is beautiful. Wagyu finds Sauce. Daka has taken down the bomb.
One enemy remaining.
Wagyu.
Spike
This
down
bomb guy
B.
gets to go in the snow as well on the B site, and the play is stunted. I like seeing that play, especially when you go for on a pistol, just injecting so much pace into a play like that. It's very interesting. You can't just got beat just yet. Now we can with a headshot coming out from Neverland and the second player to back him up. It's going to be a very, very strong pistol round coming out from Ultima. They're first in the game.
Looks like it is Ultima's turn to start to snowball. This is their map pick, if I'm not mistaken. So, in terms of how they're playing this out, it does look like they're putting the more aggressive agents over on the A site. We see it kind of work like a Lotus A site where you're pushing out is pretty decent of a strat. You get one going along to distract and one going into sewer to hide and get those head taps. It works pretty well if the A push is pretty strong, but it does look like they got a lurk here, so.
And we're seeing a fast play up garage right now from the side of Exsouls. Takes space into window, but Bankai gets that headshot. Takes Sauce clean out of the round. Smokes come out from both sides to try and deny further space from being taken. We're seeing Wagyu just playing around the smoke in CT. Not quite caught out
Spike
though, however.
planted.
Letting the plant come in, and it's a retake play being gone for right now by the side of Ultima. They don't have the Viper wall over towards C this round, however, because they're putting over towards mid and A, so it's gonna be a fight through with the paranoia coming out, fully out in the open. Wagyu getting these kills, never land on the last for Dean. Exsouls is getting shut down very heavily right now.
Flawless.
It's what you want to see if you're a fan of Ultima. They're getting a lot more aggressive in these early rounds. They're playing together on these retakes, which you not see pretty much at all on Bind.
Yeah, and also they, you know, you don't see it very, like you said, you don't see it very much on Bind due to how hard it is to push out of those areas and those tight little spaces, but over on this map, it's so open and so wide, you got so much space to work around, you have so much area to try and retake to and from, to attack, to defend, to whatever you want to try and make it work, and it looks like right now they're gonna take their buy out on the enemy team and go A, like, just hard and fast.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
That scan catching Kojam's pretty interesting, but no play really come off of that. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of what the classic Cypher util that we used to see on this map when playing around the map, because you know you lack that info util. As we discussed in the pregame about Yoru, we're seeing Cypher also helping to make up for some of that lack of information. And with the mid default coming out, I'm noticing a lot that Exsouls isn't putting on spike and spawn, and it's just having their Sova just run around with a spike, as they just take they love taking garage control. This is the third round in a row that Exsouls have gone for the garage control. Bankai with a timing gets the kill, is traded out, however. Also important to mention that how low Lee got, but gets the kill on the Kojam anyways. And it's just quiet once again. Feeling like a bonus round is in the cards right now. Lei is getting so playing with fire right now. Gets
30 seconds
killed
left.
by Daka. Not like on that kill.
Spike planted.
This bot 10 damage, not quite important here. Wagyu just keeping an eye over towards that CT position. We're seeing a TP come out. Die. Over into heaven.
Last player standing. One
Listen to
enemy
hell.
remaining.
2 kills from Snow, already with a trade, but Daka is able to get the last from default. It's a close round, but it ends up being converted by Exsouls.
Beautiful play by that Sova. They are having him run around with the bomb, like you said, and I do honestly like that play. I play like that, personally as a Sova. I think having your initiator take it was pretty introduced by get-go coming into the game due to his wingman, but I think, honestly, just having an initiator take it is the worst thing in the world. Usually they're supposed to be in the back of the pack, they're supposed to stay back there. We also see Cypher using his cage like a Viper wall over on A.
Yeah, we saw that a lot before the initiator nerfs came in to force Util being used early, and Wagyu just fully off the site already. Does not want any part of whatever's happening right now on the site hit. So from Daka gets some decent damage over on towards the side of Ultima in that C-Link area. Already, Spike's been planted, but Ultima is fully grouped up as 5 over towards C-Link right now. And how do you get into the shotgun? Especially when it's a jam. But already gets the trade. Neverland also getting their own. Snow. Trade on the Neverland. Dean with a swing out from backside.
Last player standing.
TP on towards sight. But Snow gets killed. And a third on the round from Snow onto Bankai means that the score is evened up really early now.
Snow took their wig off. Snow made them bald. Oh my goodness. That was gross. Absolutely.
Between the eyes.
He took their weave. Beautiful play from Snow, beautiful sight hold from them. That made them 2-2. I think that they're gonna start snowballing here. Honestly, I think attack on Haven is pretty decent when you have guns. I think pistol attacking is really, really rough, but I don't see Cypher going over to A to give them some fake info with their cage this time. He tried to trip him out a little bit with the cage and long, and it kind of worked. It made him slow down.
Yeah. It's all about just special positions. It's why we saw Cypher a lot over Killjoy towards the later stages of this map before the initiator nerfs is going to be a phrase that's said a lot throughout these games because it really just explains what's happening with the current state of the game and the way that it is. As we see Dean use that dimensional drift, take space over towards short. That's what out Wagyu is. Wagyu's forced to take a fight. Brought down low, but the stinger rings true. Dean gets onto the site, makes his way over towards hell. Wagyu gets another on the snow. That stinger takes so much value right now. I think it's G2 playing. Duels on duels being taken over and over. No one's able to quite land the shot. We do see the flank coming in, but Dean is just consistently getting these fights and is able to not get traded out or killed. Sauce spots that Bunkai. Artie has made the way along the flank. Knows position of Sauce, spots the gun, swings out, gets the kill.
Last player standing.
Time as Dean gets a third on the round with the Bunkai. But the barrel away from Artie just doesn't quite land, so Daka gets the kill, and Exsouls take the lead.
Exsouls has taken their own lead back. You know, doing a double duelist comp on this map honestly is pretty unheard of when you start to look at the meta and stuff like that. Due to how rough and big this map is, a lot of info is really, really good, and so I'm very shocked that they went only one initiator in this whole entire thing. But they do have a lot of information when you look at their actual agents kits. Yoru really, really supports Sova in terms of his util and versus to his own util, and they can help each other out pretty well.
Yeah. Lay just gets up there close and personal with that dart coming in earlier. Gets Dean. Dean just chooses to try to conserve. Gets kicked off. No, go for it. TP into heaven. Gets canceled. Lay with a perhaps wall hacking. Gets the break onto the ult. Cancels force, and I mean, right now it seems that Exsouls just left up a creek without a paddle. Not able to quite figure out what to do next here, as the mid round is deeming a regroup over towards B. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the double duelist comp, at least in the current stage that the way that it is seeming a lot of struggles right now. Artie, a bit of a duel up with the paranoia catches Sauce at that near site. Wow, perfect. Does not allow for a kill to be converted. Snow, TP's up on top of the site. No use TP to get onto another part of the
30 seconds left.
Revealing area.
Spike planted.
It's a 5v3, and how do you stunt this retake from coming in? Kojam scans, force off the site. Daka, Snow, double into link site, gets their kill.
One enemy
Daka
remaining.
gets a third of the round. It's a 2v2. Lake gets the pick. Kojam left alone, off site, smoked off.
One enemy remaining.
My Ultima
Gets
is
the
ready.
spammed, but Kojam thinks that Lay was the one
Everyone
defusing.
hiding.
The ult comes out, but Artie's able to stick. The body block, perhaps unintentional, still beautiful. It's Kojam not able to win out the round as Artie takes the duel. And playing with fire by both players. Neither of them end up getting killed, and 5 volts still available now for the defense.
I honestly am understanding of why he thought that the Neon was the one defusing. Neon has a lot less hold than Omen does, so Omen has the ability to, with his TP, with his blind, with his smokes, otherwise, has a little bit more util to hold that Cypher back from them, so I do understand why he thought the Neon was defusing. Unfortunate timing though, just very unfortunate timing for him.
Yeah. And we're seeing what's potentially going to be the bread and butter of this double duelist comp, which is just what we're seeing. Another Sova ult being used by Daka. This is the second of the half, which I just find incredible. Flash coming after the smoke by Dean, but Artie's able to dodge it. Artie having been positioned over towards back plat, gets the kill. Kojam now left alone in garage, alongside Daka, so maybe not left alone fully. This reposition is being forced. You're seeing a push come out from Daka. This already gets Wagyu as well. Incredible kills being picked off now. As Lei, having previously gone for the flank from B, around towards garage doors, is now on the back foot, having to regroup with their teammate over towards A. Player being spotted out over towards Heaven. Kojam decides to drop down, takes the fall damage. So to double up over towards Hell. Between Daka and Kojam. Dart comes out, gets broken.
Here we go.
Lei goes in fast,
Enemy remaining.
not finding
Last
anybody.
player
And Neon will make it difficult to land the shots, but Kojam gets the kill.
Time for a break.
It's a 2v4 being averted by Exsouls there, and perhaps a round that you don't want to see Ultima losing, considering how the last map went.
3-4, and honestly, it looks like they have all locked very, very far in, and it looks like these teams counter each other pretty decently, even though they're honestly not all that different. And they do pretty good at fighting back and forth, taking their trades. I'm so curious on what's gonna happen once they run straight into the Sova and Neon here, if they decide to take long instead of shower or tour. What's gonna happen, what their plan is, you know, if for long.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of prioritization of the ult orbs come out from inside of Exsouls. We're seeing Dean over towards C, grab that ult orb early with a smoke on the top. We're seeing a lot of pressure over towards A, being taken advantage of. But right now, Artie is all the way up mid into the attacker's spawn pretty much. Trip comes out, it's late. Artie can get past it with a TV if necessary. Just do so. Manages to get fully behind. I'm trying to determine what direction to go for right now, but Neverland has already gotten 2 on the round for sure. As Sauce gets a bit too far
One
gone.
enemy remaining.
Trying to take a fight. Molly comes in on default and already slicing the 2 players on the way on site. And that's the advantage of playing this Viper comp. The A hits are so hard to get through. There's a wall just fully in the way, and when the wall's not there, there's going to be smoke, there's going to be mollies, there's going to be a dart, even neon stuns if necessary. It's a damn difficult comp to get through, and we're seeing Ultima to their full advantage.
It's honestly very, very rough for this team to try and fight this out. I think that if they were to, just try to do a full-on take, their overwhelming presence would be enough to get them an extra round. It's just when they want to do that.
Camera
Big
taken
goal.
out.
Absolutely. Yeah, and going into this round, it's a blow-by. Already using that Omen blind very early, forces players back, using a smoke now to get on the site. If Artie dies, it's going to be I'd call that a success for Exsouls. The Hunter's Fury comes in, and the Molly, so Snow dies too. This retake's been fully stopped. Bunkai getting 2 kills of their own. Getting a shot in. Play. As well, but that's just Bunkai going into the smoke. So Artie sprays down, uses all the bullets in the gun, and then drops it. Bit on the floor there. As yeah, Lei is on the attacker spawn, similarly doing their best Artie impression. There's a crossfire front B, and there's full information for the side of Ultima with the watch over towards C-Link from Neverland. Oh, great. Neverland gets sprayed down, not quite fully aware, but pops up to see the deal by Daka. Kojam.
30 seconds left.
I don't know if he spotted. Kojam gets the kill. So does
Enemy remaining.
it's all going
Last
on.
player
Gets the kill.
standing.
Kill of their own. Sun comes in, it does land. And Daka's have to take this fight against Lei to try and pull it around. This guard has been ringing true almost all around.
10
Lei
seconds
goes to
left.
the reposition. Perhaps a bit misguided about Daka's true position.
Spike
Able
planted.
to stick the plant and make a reposition over towards the right side of the B site. Lei here, sitting here watching, waiting for a swing on the left. Daka just walked down mid site.
Gotta go.
Spots the gun, gets the shot off, has to reload because the gun is on the ground as I mentioned earlier, and Lei gets the 3rd kill. Daka, bit greedy, wanted a better gun for the fight, but there was no bullets in that one on the floor. As we now
Spike's
see
dead. You're
Ultima
welcome.
retake the lead following a great round 9 played by Lei.
was honestly a beautiful rat from Lei. That was honestly pretty interesting. I've never seen someone sit quite at that angle as tight as they did. That was honestly really smart, caught them off guard, and yeah, he got sprayed through the wall, but it was enough to be able to give him info without taking as much damage as he needed to. That was honestly very beautiful from Lei. Oh, and why is that open? I do see that full-on exploding that I was mentioning. I wonder, I really hope they go long. I want to see what the Sova does really down.
Yeah. It wasn't really another 2v4 converted for the side of Exsouls, as we do see this full A hit get committed. Sauce taken down by Lei early. Dean just unults in front of 2 people. Managed to get a kill in time. Sauce has a judge.
My
only.
ultimate is
Never
ready.
gets a kill, but he gets Sauce as well.
I know
Coming out
exactly
lockdown,
where
trying to maintain that space control. Forces Exsouls so far back on A. They're not even going to stop over towards long. They're trying to get out fully. Snow detained. A site practically fully cleared as well. As Ultima now, with a minute left in the round, has to try to determine where Exsouls is going to go next. And Exsouls, they have access to the full map at this point. Reposition over towards mid. Bit of an exploration. That can't be in constant info. Molly being popped over towards front B, and as Bankai makes their way over towards the C side of the map, the Killjoy util will start to come back up. We just saw the alarm. We heard the alarm ball get reactivated. Turret to be reactivated soon. If Killjoy doesn't break it first. Yep, starts coming back up. Gets activated.
30
Killjoy.
seconds left.
Now we get ahead of it. The smoke lands late as well, so the turret will be activated. Bomb. Yes,
Cage
planted.
trigger.
Kojam as well places down the node, so it will be a 2v2 with positions noted. Wagyu and Bankai. No, other players were
One enemy
so looking,
remaining.
but Wagyu gets the kill. So low with 8 HP left. Kojam just not quite able to get the kill completed. Only 117, needed the 125. That's Wagyu closing out the round 6 on the defense.
What, man, what a spray. He tried so hard to try and get that collateral on him, but it just didn't end up working out, unfortunately. That was honestly a very good angle. They all play together when it became a 2v2. Both teams have their basics down, and I can definitely tell that. They have their main ways of how they play down. I think it's just now more technical tweaking for the team at hand that they need to do, because I think that their attack is, without that second true initiator in there, it's going to make it really rough to try and take a site and keep it.
Absolutely. We're seeing a second from the shadows get broken from the side of Snow, and a third ult being used by Daka over on a C hit. I'm starting to see a little bit of a pattern here when it comes to the Sova ult being used and what sites being hit. As the C site has been fully overtaken now. There is no Killjoy ult. There's no lockdowns available as Kojam makes his way over to the B site, gets spotted up in a alarm bot alert. The C retake has begun. Stuck up again. Position over goes back. Pull out. The paranoia is perfect as the kill gets found. Back one
Enemy remaining.
Artie finding their own. Artie with a second. Bankai gets a kill in the meantime, and Artie with that early information with the Killjoy alarm bot earlier finds Kojam on the lurk, and it's a fully collapsed C retake. The C hole is just dominating out inside of Exsouls right now, and to be honest, I want to see them save the Sova
Last
a little
round
bit if
in
they're
the
going to
half.
see a hit.
Last
It's clear
round
the
to
C
use
side
our
has been an
creds and
easy site to
abilities.
take.
Don't waste
Just
your
using
firepower.
Sova ult to prevent the retake and try and stall it out would be so much more value than trying to pick off a kill with it. Because it seems that Ultima has the lead on what the play is with these Sova ult, and it's been for C hits. Third time's been
Out of
happened now.
charges.
Yeah.
Time out.
It's not been pretty. These retakes have been very well used because the paranoia has just been available almost every time.
Placing alarm bot.
Yep, and they did really, really good on that retake. Sova ult on C is honestly something that they've done every time, and I see it often. Playing it for defensive after the site's been down, I think is going to be a world more help to them than just the information.
Yeah. Once again, we're seeing this garage space being taken by the attack, but it's just been it's been empty for Ultima almost every time. And I mean, Sauce is here with a judge, but
Spike
gets a kill
down
and dash
A.
over towards A. It's a clean pick. Good shot. And Artie again is up on A. Oh my, they are not ready for
Enemy
this.
remaining.
And it's a clean
Wow.
sweep for Artie. 3 of a kind. Sauce left alone, but he's a bit of a joker in the end as Bankai gets that last. and it's an 8-4 half, and you expect this Viper
Switching
comp to be better on
sides.
attack than it is on defense, especially against the double duelist comp.
Yeah.
I mean, an 8-round
Honestly.
lead is very, very helpful.
Arnie just made that round honestly very, very easy for them and gave them that easy 8-4. I think that was kind of the random hero play that they were looking for that they needed. Coming into the next half, I do see that Ultima is going to start gravitating towards C almost immediately. They do have the util for it. They got a lot of space they can take with their util. Their util gives a lot of room for plays. It gives a lot of room for mistakes, so especially on attack. But they have their Cypher sitting over on C. The trip ain't there, but I believe in future rounds, if he does put it there, it's going to start being an issue for Ultima.
Yeah, it's a fully spread out setup, with the pressure being applied over towards A. Fireball as well over towards A. Doesn't go up fully towards B, which I expect to be fixed soon. Dart comes out. No Cypher trip there to be broken. This 3-player towards C because Dean being able to keep E over. Shock Dart hits Kojam instead of Dean because the bounce not able to find the purchase. Kojam is killing already early. That side looks dangerous to work through. Is Bankai gets a kill into the snow early. Neverland double body shot gets taken down. Bankai gets a kill into Kojam as
One enemy
trade,
remaining.
and this sheriff is ringing so supreme right now. Wagyu coming late barrage, spot out by Sauce the dash.
One enemy
Not
remaining.
quite able to find purchase. Daka gets off the bomb, but Wagyu with some beautiful shots. Headshot after headshot after headshot, and it's a clutch. And that's not good if you're an Exsouls fan.
Honestly, Ultima really does not want to have to go home on a 2-0, so I believe they're trying to bully this out so that they can just get this game over with, because honestly, it's late, and I feel like that if they aren't careful, some very, very weird, like, tired plays could come into play
fatigue
here.
sets in, especially when you're starting the game at 9.
And denying them that snowball, honestly, is what they need.
Yeah. Dean spotted out early. Sauce is coming to lay Bandit. I mean, it's the gun that you'd want in that situation. As shots get exchanged over towards A, it's a 4-stack to the defense. Exsouls putting their stock into this part of the map. As Ultima gun gets extracted, brought back as Waggy picks it up, and it would seem they're attempting to bring a fake rotate, making steps going away, but Exsouls not gonna bite. There's a camera watching over towards C, and B retaking it, hitting B as an eco would be pretty ill-advised. So it's just it's a stack that we expect to be good. And with Dean walking up, the pick won't be amazing, but gets you that info. Going players here. Chirping plays down as well as good info. Stealing sight. Being used, not ready for Daka on the close angle. Snow as well, getting 2 with a classic. Bankai now left in a 1v3.
Got one. 30 seconds left.
Gets Snow. Daka in short right now as Kojam makes the rotate through the flank. Bankai not sure of Kojam's positioning because of the alarm bot.
One enemy remaining.
Daka gets spotted out too. Bankai not ready, but Kojam can get the kill with the classic.
My ultimate is ready.
And it's another 1v3 to win the round. Question marks being thrown out by Neverland. And it's a similar situation that we saw last map.
Yep. And it's just copy after copy. Honestly, they really want to secure this game in. I think they're trying to play very familiar so that they can keep this game, because it's this game or nothing. And with their eco coming on, I think that they're gonna try to force out some of their guns that they have in the advantage right now. So let's see how they play it, because I think that they need to get the picks before they go in.
Yeah. There is good map control coming out here as Dean finds Waggy early. Bit of shots, I think, on the body. We'll call them pre-fires for now.
Portal closed.
Yeah,
Cutting through.
having control of this A space ahead of the Viper wall is incredibly important when you're playing against the Viper comp, because the wall is able to usually force 2 to 3 players to stick on A almost every round. So killing the Viper early, dying not great there from Dean though. Getting control over of this A space ahead of the wall allows you to bring stacks around the map more comfortably. spots out the trip and breaks it. And hearing the cam over towards B, probably he's gonna give away the plot as to where the rest of the trips are. And the reposition coming out now, leaving Artie inserted over towards Garage. It's Neverland. And
30 seconds
and
left.
Bankai trying to
Standing ahead.
and what the play is here. Grabbing the gun over towards Zane, going for a C hit, it would seem. Smalley comes in over towards back flash. Under that. Trip comes in, gets a scale on the Neverland, but the kill isn't connected, and Kojam dies. Bankai was shot after having closed out the round previously.
player
Daka
standing.
gets 2. Snow is well getting their own, but Neverland now 1v3. We saw 2 in the last 2 rounds. Neverland gets 1. Opposition from Daka to get the kill. It closes out the round with a 3K.
Thank you.
And I do not like how Ultima is just not taking back side control before getting the plant down, just allowing the side of Exsouls to just fully maintain back side control and just win the retakes. That's why these rounds. That's why this round got so close. That's why this round should have been won by Ultima, but it's just good shots from Daka to win it out.
Yep. Very basic eco in terms of like how they buy it, but honestly, they need to get that plant down after they retake, because that is a very chaotic round, I will say at the same time.
Yeah. I see another heavy alien come out from Exsouls. Shocker doesn't break the turret or break the trip. Muto comes in. The C site's being taken. Just another thing I've been noticing is that we're not seeing Wagyu use the Viper Orb which is allowing these floods to get so much more value. We saw Kojam and 2 other players able to make their way out of CT for free, and Sauce with wall up. Forced Neverland and Artie all the way
One
back out
enemy
long,
remaining.
and Sauce gets the kill
Spike
because he's not
down,
watching
C.
for the hit. Now Wagyu having made their way up B site. Test against Sauce and Daka, but Sauce with a 3K closes out the round. It's an eco now being forced out by for Ultima. I feel like there's a bit of a misunderstanding as to what makes this Viper comp so good, and it's not just the wall, it's the orb to stop these retakes.
Yeah, I think that they need to be a lot more aggressive in how they take site, because they, you know, what's it called? They ended up trying to play a retake on C, and honestly, that's not even a bad take. C retake is honestly a very easy retake for the defense. It's just more so, can they get by on that util, and they can't because they don't have it set up yet.
Yeah, we're seeing some parts that go in. Sauce getting picked off early. The gun down. Dean and Snow are in this corner. Oh, the bait from Dean is so good, but Snow whipped! So Artie gets the pick. It's a 5v3. There's the shot selection. There's just too many people who don't target. Artie now TP's into hell. Commits on it as well. Just a player in heaven. It's just a double up over towards A. The most devious higher lower you can imagine right now. It's between players on enemy teams. But Kojam doesn't know where Artie TP to. Thought Artie TP stairs. Now the plank comes in. Trip gets broken as well. No free kills. Bit whippy onto Lay, so ends up getting killed off. Is left now towards Dean. What a great way to play in Snow earlier. But it's a thrifty from Ultima. And Ultima to 11.
At least one of us.
2 rounds away from bringing us to a map 3.
Yep. They did beautifully on that one, honestly. You know, the take was honestly very stellar, very good eco and thrifty for that one as well. And also we see Lay keeping his shorty as well, honestly. And it looks like he's gonna try to get a little bit more eco in there, just so that if they do end up losing an extra round here, they don't got they don't have no money to worry about.
Ahead.
And looks like we're seeing another C hit come in. Kojam used that cam to get info early. Lineup comes flying in from Neverland, but Daka with just taking the head off of Lake for cleanly.
Spike
Mid
planted.
slide. Bankai gets Daka though. 3 people retaking right now. Turret knocks out Snow over towards mid. Not ready for that turret to come back into range. 3v4 right now.
Placing
Bankai is
swarm
pretty
grenade.
low right now, having used both mollies over towards
Swarm
CT,
grenade
but the Oracle's down in Garage. The Alarm's not going to be away here too. How do you get through this with your Exsouls? They are identifying that the CT is the area of the map that is going to be the most likely to be retaken. As Sauce gets a good shot.
One enemy remaining.
Wagyu and Neverland are picking up these kills. And
Death is cold.
these eco frags are getting value as Neverland and Wagyu both have the ults now. And I mean,
Match
Killjoy
point.
and Sovo are going to be enough to win a round on their own. So it's going to be a very well planned round on the defense for Exo. They're going to try to win out here.
Yeah, every move has to be meticulous. They have absolutely no room to really like work around here, especially with it being 12 and 6. They have to play every round perfect. They have to be very, very meticulous on how they place their util, how they push, if they push even. Looks like they're using up that Viper wall over on A, and they're gonna try to get a little bit of a fake in over on C since they're so used to that.
Yeah, it would seem that there is a read from the side of Ultima that there was going to be another C fight happening again, using that stun very early to just deny whatever potential aggro there was from Kojam, from Dean, from Sauce. As Dean finding purchase onto Wagyu again, fighting head of the Viper wall. Wagyu has been caught out now twice over towards A, potential weakness for teams to exploit in the future, or for Ultima to work back to fix. Shots get exchanged over towards B, wall gets used. Blade continuing to make the way over towards A long. Bankai uses the Killjoy over towards B as a
Placing
fake.
swarm grenade.
Play is
Grenade
out of long. In the meantime, Dean walking down short as well. Ships in the night, and there's 3 ships right now, and all of them want that lighthouse. Dean is walking out short, and Neverland just
Spike
forgets.
down A.
Oh, that's a round you don't want to forget for Neverland. You saw Dean walk out short, and you just don't get off bomb until you absolutely need to. And Artie is short as well.
30
Gets
seconds
the kill
left.
onto Dean. And Daka. So, you know, maybe the round works out anyways.
Last player standing.
Bankai gets killed off by Sauce. Artie having bomb. Those are both players at it. Used by Sauce. The overdrive, not quite able to catch the kill, but Kojam gets round gets converted by Exsouls anyways. That was a mess.
That was an absolute mess, honestly, and I think that it's either they're teasing them or they do not have quite a hold on that A site. It's honestly like, you know, you see A being a pretty hard retake for the defense usually, but with their double duelist, it makes it a little bit easier on their half. But it looks like that they've read that immediately and are just going to go straight on to C. Both those trips are in garage, so they have no defense on that long.
Yeah. And just getting smokes down early. Blind comes in. Kojam wants no business on the site hold. Forced fully into CT. And there's going to be a Viper's Pit to contest with, as well as a Hunter's Fury. Post plant is going to be fearsome, to say the least, from the side of...
Welcome to my
Viper's Pit gets used on the wall. After the bombs for hit, but this is a contested Yuki detail as Snow gets the kill with a Judge. Neverland getting prepped to use the Hunter's Fury and the bomb getting tapped. Stack gets spam kill on the Bankai through the wall. Nowhere to run! You see it, the Hunter's Fury brought down low, and Stack as well. Stack gets killed by a slight.
One enemy.
So, killed by Artie, and Neverland gets the last on the Sauce after having finished out the Hunter's Fury. It's a 13-7 win for Ultima. Very, very clean map. As they took the lead early on, or like around the midpoint of their defense, and just kept holding on to it with some hero plays, but also just some very, very, very strong team play. Already, once again, at the top of the leaderboard now on that smokes. No first bloods, but you know you're playing Omen, so get you anyways. Just
Very, very
good
good.
game.
Yeah, very good game. It was honestly a pretty standard Haven game from what we're used to, but we are going to be taking one more intermission before this last map, and we will see you on the 3rd game and the 3rd map of tonight.
Yep, we're going into Abyss, another map. And welcome back. Map 3 of TCC Match 2, Exsouls versus Ultima. If you were here for Map 1, you would not have thought this game would go to a Map 3, but here we are. It's first Map 3 of the not the bracket, of the event. Not even the event. Of the league as a whole. I think that's the word you want to use for it. Yeah, we're going to Abyss, which is going to be an interesting map. It's very aim heavy, so you'd probably expect Exsouls to be able to play the map a bit better, as we saw early on Bind, but not quite what we were expecting. Or the game hasn't been working as we've been expecting when it comes to expectations. Because we saw Exsouls take a lead early over towards Bind, came back on, and then Haven ends up being an overwhelming win for Ultima.
I also think that Abyss is just pretty back and forth. It can kind of be one or the other. It has a lot of advantages for both. Like over on B, on top of that box, defense can use it really, really well. And even if they place a one-way on it, they can use it very well as well. But if the attack can get to it first and place a smoke behind them, or place a smoke for them to be able to push off of it without ratting on it, if that makes sense at all. Like if they put a smoke on it so that they have to leave, like they have to get out of there so that they aren't dead. I think that it could go really any which way. We see a lot of more technical agents. You were actually talking about Veto not being played earlier, and I do see a Veto on this map, so I'm very, very excited to see that from both sides. I'm actually very excited for that because I have not seen a Veto in any type of esports tourney yet, so I don't really watch VCT. I don't have time, so I can't say about VCT. There probably has been, but I personally have not watched it myself, so I'm very, very excited.
I've watched every VCT game except for China so far this season. There are a few teams that run Veto, especially on Abyss. There is Vitality. They have Chronicle run Veto on every time they played Abyss so far, including in EMEA Clash, where they play against tier 2 teams. Looking at these teams, it's I'm not gonna say it's basically a mirror comp, but it's essentially a mirror comp. We're seeing a Whaley on both sides. We're seeing, just a Smokes agent, a Sova, Veto. The main difference is the KO versus the Yoru. In a situation where there is a Veto being played, double duelist is hard to work around because you lack that little bit of extra utility to send people in. And on this attack, you can tell if a team, like how good a team is with a Veto comp based on how they play the attack. Veto is a fundamentally difficult agent to work the attack on because of how limited the plays are. It's similar to how a team is good on defense with how they play Neon, because of how difficult Neon is inherently on the defensive play. I want to see, again, something interesting. Because when you're throwing in a Veto, this is an agent that you don't see often. As Veto is probably the best maps for him are probably Abyss and Lotus, just on an overall scale. So again, this is going to be a favorite map for Veto, just because of the way that the map is structured and how it favors these large-scale executes. As we go into this round, count with 0 point gets used early. 4 players over towards the B side right now. On this hit coming out from Flash comes in, Sauce forced to recall. The Veto interceptor beats the Flash. This is what you want to see. This is the perfect situation for a Veto to be in. As the util gets broken by the interceptor, Flash gets eaten, TP just gets left out to dry because of Sauce getting forced to recall. It's Kojang to kill on a Wagyu.
One enemy remaining.
Already gets the kill. Neverland. Right here. Comes in. Hits the side of the head. And the kill gets converted. That's a resoundingly strong pistol round coming out from the side of Ultima.
Yep, very strong one for them. Good defensive. I also think that this half will even still be their rough half just because of all of that information that's going in. Yeah, the Veto's really bad on attack, and it's just a really hard agent to work around counterattack, but the rest of their agents are absolutely stunning on attack, so I'm honestly really excited to see how they're going to play out this defense more, because aggressive comps will work and defensive comps will work for them as well. It's just how the other team ends up playing around it.
Absolutely. And I think on a map like Abyss, Double Duelist is stronger on the defense, especially when you're running the Veto. You're gonna be favored with Veto and Yoru. The teleports allow for rotates to come in so quick, super quickly that you're already playing for the fast flood normally. The fast is gonna become even better. The info game is gonna be very important from Ultima. And by extension, Exsouls, as Sauce just runs around you and Lay gets the second one.
Spike
on the
down
round.
B.
But
Yeah.
you're running so many pieces of info util. You have the KO knife, you have the Sova, you have the Veto trip, already into 2 and then closing the round. You have so much information available at all times that Exsouls is going to need to have a very strong default when it comes to taking space around the map, or some insanely powerful execs over towards A to force the Veto of Ultima to play away from B.
Yeah, using that force to get him off honestly would be is a pretty good idea. The whole setup he has going on is honestly very intuitive. He has TP sitting in heaven so he can escape very easily, and they won't expect him to TP to that side, so that would be honestly a very good setup if it gets hit and he can play it how he has in his mind.
Yeah.
But they're not.
We're already seeing why Vito's being played over some other strategies when it comes to the mid control, as a trip gets placed over deep towards mid to allow for earlier info on the mid lurks. Nevermind gets a spam kill on the Doom. The sight hit maybe not as effective as we saw previously on Bind. As backup, as Swag just runs out for Interceptor gets popped over, so Lay can't really send in a util and I can rest the team. Daka sets up onto the rope, some sort of swing over towards Heaven. Sauce gets one. Lay with a no scope on a Daka. The whiff.
Last player
Not
standing.
ideal. Lay in Heaven
enemy
with an
remaining.
air read. Gets the double headshot on the snow. Toji has 1 HP. Gets slowed as well. And he takes the one tap, but Lay gets the 3K to close out the round. It just all fell apart from the overcommittal fight into Heaven. Lay builds a divergent pass in the meantime, and it's just all falling apart for Exsouls early.
On it, that Omen was so confident, and that no one was gonna push him backside. And I'm sorry, he unfortunately got swung, but it allowed them to be distracted enough to get that retake off, I believe. Sorry, I had to look away. I thought my dog was whimpering. But I do see this half that they got a pretty good stack going over on me. I think they saw that they took a pretty well, and they're hoping to try to play a retake over there instead. Because as good as they played on the retake, continuing to play that retake over and over again will make it really rough on them, and will make them have to take B and flood into their sentinel.
Absolutely.
Make them less wanting to be on A.
Yeah, D just picked up early over towards A main, trying to create some pressure. We mentioned it earlier when it came towards when it comes to playing Bind and where you want to be playing your retakes. On Abyss, you want control of CT or like backside on the aim plans because of the way that just how it actually rolls. Oh my! Sauce gets to go on a Wagyu. Very caught unawares. Bankai gets a swing. Snow having to walk back up now over to the backside. We'll go back to where I'm
One enemy remaining.
put him to work and they get this shorty kill early. But yeah, I think a lot of teams tend to overvalue head control against anti-retakes. Oh no, what?
Yep. I said, oh no, because Lay fell off, and I lagged out, so the round ended really late for me, and I thought that they weren't gonna make it.
That would have been really funny. We just seen the modern moment early. But yeah, I think Heaven is very overvalued because I mean, from what we saw of how the retake was played earlier by Ultima, they didn't use flood smokes, and I think that it's gonna be a good play to just take ace and then just take into CT or just security, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, going into this round, it's just another heavy stack over towards B into the Veto site, which I mean, Bankai isn't playing with a TP ready. and gets two, just already TP'd in the bad spot. Wagyu catches Dean, who TP'd out into the middle of the open.
Last player standing.
And Kojam catches Neverland on the lurk, and I mean, this is the type
Spike
of play you want to see from
planted.
Exsouls. You dash in, force the interceptor out early, and then just follow up the kills. A bit of a misplay from Artie, as well as a good stun onto the player on site. Just allows Exsouls to take control of B really quickly, despite hitting into the veto site. With this exploration from Lei, there will be a potential of a few exits being found, but it's already a foregone conclusion. Kojam picked off first, and it's going to be three from Snow to get the kill. Really getting picked off, but Lei ends up
Those
dying.
red circles.
Next was with their first round board.
This is what it's about.
May I ask what those red
Want
circles
something
were on the
easy?
corners of the maps? I'm trying to figure out what
Wanna be
detail that
great?
was.
Keep fighting.
Those are the veto TPs.
All right, so those were a pretty, because that's what I figured. I wanted to be sure. Those were that was honestly a very interesting flank setup from that veto, and that was also a very good play from Exodus overall, or Exsouls, gosh, from Exsouls overall. And it looks like they're gonna try to take that same site. As you were saying, Heaven's pretty overvalued, but the Yoru in that situation, he ended up doing a TP out in the open to allow his teammate to get the trade because they knew they had numbers to work with. That was honestly really smart.
Absolutely.
Like, at first I thought it was really dumb.
Lei just gets picked off early. Just going for a walk down play with the off. Bankai just really confident in the play around the map. Interceptor gets forced out early. No one's shooting it. Can someone please shoot the interceptor? Does someone need to tell Exsouls to shoot the interceptor? Because
Spike planted.
it's wild that it get broken there. The wall gets used to take the site. Kale also getting used in counter. One lane put on the site. It's a 5v4 retake. 45 retake. It's Sauce. Over swings gets picked. Dean alone on site. And Wagyu. The ult would have ended, so Wagyu is fully dead, and Bankai left alone in the 1v3. 1 HP. Gets killed by Kojam. The lurk Kojam is getting so much value. He's either getting a pick or just getting space, and I mean with a 3k there, it's got a lot of value and a lot of picks.
Looks like Exsouls has really taken on their decent B push. It looks like they're trying to keep that, but it looks like also Ultima's gonna start responding to that by putting 3 over on B and 1 on mid, allowing them to not take the site as well. A lot more people over there will give them a lot more anxiety on clearing corners and taking the fights. We'll see how they play this because it looks like Silva's alone and they're going right to him.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more focus being put onto mid right now to counteract Kojam's lurk, and it's the exact thing that Exsouls have been conditioning here when it comes to just the mid spaces overall. Snow is just playing fully around the over the push, and it's 2 ults being committed against an eco right now, and no kills being found off of it. In fact, Sauce getting over aggressive and picked off in the meantime. Also droning into a
player
crazy. And a third ult being used as well. I mean, you know, close out the round, all power to you, but this feels like a very heavy overcommit to win a round after already having sight down. Wagyu is just gonna try to open up the round a little bit to make the next few a bit more possible. Grabs the gun, deciding to save, runs away. Rest of Exsouls choosing to stay alive. Kojam TP's out towards mid. Wagyu now. He's gonna be trying to stay alive over here in vents. I mean, Kojam should know where Wagyu is. Spots him out, breaks the vent door. Another 3k now for Kojam, but already had that evolution in play, and it's now a full buy. But there's no ultimates to use for Exsouls to open up this round.
Open up that round to get them in. Honestly, the veto ult isn't gonna be too much of a good thing for them. They honestly, how I see veto ult on attack is just being a tank for your team. Play like it's Overwatch. Play like it's Marvel. Like, just be a tank. Take the bullets. It also works really well when you're trying to... Ooh, good pick. Good pick from Sauce on Lei and A or B main.
this is the second time that Lei has pushed up over towards B man and died because there's no util to being used to set it up. I will say one of the often underappreciated aspects of this game is the fact that you have regen. It's not the fact that wow. Is that your regen? And now going into this post-ban scenario of the anti-retake, we're gonna see a bit of an anime battle between Bankai and Kojam. As Bankai takes up 2, but it's a trade from Kojam. Now Kojam can pretty much just run around this site and just constantly take duels as long as he can get one tap. Because he can just like take a shot and heal back up. Like here, he's brought down to 1 HP. He just tucks back a little bit. He's back to 100. And in the meantime, the rest of his teammates can just wander around the map, get these kills, and decided to just close out the round. Able to make their way into a once again into an even half. We saw on Bind, as was mentioned, that when Exsouls was up 4-0, they were able to extend that lead to being up 7-1, and now when Ultima has the 4-0 lead, Exsouls were able to catch back up because of how much they're able to be, how much better they have been at playing together than Ultima has, especially on this map at least.
Yup, and ooh, go ahead. Wait, I didn't realize the round started.
We saw a bit of a fight over towards B early on with Flash and Lei going for a fight. The Flash was interesting. I don't think it hit at all. Just about sucks for that poor Sova dart. Actual just hit the biscuit of a throw.
Good dart.
Yeah, I think that was meant to be a full charge dart. And the interceptor gets used again. Just this interceptor's been here every round, and round 2 kills in the exchange. Neverland gets the kill.
One enemy remaining.
Gets killed. Daka and Snow get their shots apiece. It's off the lane now in the 1v3. Daka's just playing up close. Here's the gun being grabbed. Tries to run away at that exact moment. Goes up to top site. We jump around. Gets
No
to
more
go
to oppose us.
for the Lei. Starting to build up to another Hunter's Fury. And yeah, I just that interceptor has been there every time. Similarly, like on the A post plant, as there's been an interceptor on B every round. I think the drone's gotten eaten by it like 4 times, maybe 3 times.
The dodge from, or not the dodge, but the timing on the Lei from Daku was honestly really good. He heard the step and he backed away to retake the position because he knew that the Waylay was probably going to be holding him when he swung.
Right here.
Now we see Vito sitting up over on A. He kind of thinks that it's a little bit more rough for them.
Like
And we'll see how they retake it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like Exsouls has been made aware that the A site is now where the Vito's playing, and with the force of movement for the TP, Daka just is able to get the plant down for free now.
Planted.
And you know, using this after wall, this gives a lot of space for the retakers to get into position. Super early. There's the convergent paths. We're seeing a heavy reposition coming out from Dean over to the mid, over towards up in the air heaven. After pull gets used early. Spam is coming through. Sauce is 1 HP as Dean breaks the lens door. Gets going to Lei. Daka gets a kill on the spam with the
Last player standing.
4v2 now. 4v1. Already off the low. Gets 1, gets 2. Nearly gets on the 3rd. Bomb. Still has time to defuse. Snow. Ready to swing. Daka. Comes out. Already just sticking. But finally it's a double swing to force Artie off the bomb. And it can collecting up the kill from Snow. And the lead is being established. It was not only grabbed, it's now being fully formed and realized.
Dodge. Exsouls did beautifully on that take. How they, honestly, I'm going to talk about how Ultima played that though, because honestly, that was a really good play on how they've been playing. It just ended up not working. And how they had it was Vito was over on A and he was alone. They knew that Vito was not a very good retake agent, so they left him to defend and left him to basically die for the retake to hold off and get some damage, get some retail out, and they just let the rest of them retake. Now he's pushing.
Yeah, Bankai, good shot early. Gets a second one as well with a jumping out from Lei. This is what you want to see from Ultima on these B aggro is not just sending Lei alone with no util and no backup. That's almost what it is. He's a knife. Use
Last
the
player
second player.
standing.
Daka gets 2, but the A player has been killed. The mid player has been finished off. It's just everything's falling apart now for Exsouls. Just Ultima winning out their ones on the eco. It's gonna happen at some point, especially given a map that it seems that Exsouls may not be as well drilled on. Where Ultima's is able to walk around the map, get some kills early, especially on an anti-eco when you're usually expecting a lot of the maps to be not played around. Daka does get a backstab onto Wagyu, and both players for Ultima now being left over towards A is gonna make this retake take a lot of time to coalesce. Daka with that plant getting committed. Pushing over towards B link. There's not enough time to get into
One enemy remaining.
per se. Neverland killed and already gives it 5 bullets left for Daka, but he's not able to collect the kill. Already is able to finish off the Sova. And it was close, despite being an eco and a 1v3, but Artie's able to close it out. Very well played by him.
Honestly, a mix between the eco and a mix between how much what's it called? How much eco
Last
the enemy
round
team had
before the
over them. A
switch.
4K on a clutch is not that bad. Got a 4K on an attempted clutch is not that bad. Got 4 of them off their guns. Made them pretty broke this round, which honestly isn't that big of an issue due to the fact that it is the last round. They do have just enough to buy, along with a couple sidearms, and it looks like they're gonna do a full-on B rush this one. Got a couple pretty aggressive agents over on A, and they got Vito putting a flank trip over on there too.
Yeah, and I do not like this null command from Wagyu. I'll say in the slightest. Lei dashed out and saw 3 people, and Wagyu just wanted enough of that. And it's buying maybe 20 seconds, but there's already 3 players on B. No one's rotated off of A. All this really does is just
Doing a thing.
all this really does is mean that you have the null command for rotating. Versus Hazard comes in, Sauce, getting shot out by Lei, but it's Snow that gets shot out as well. Instead, TP comes in from Artie, from the shadows, allows him
One
to
enemy
heaven
remaining.
fairly freely, but didn't get the trade. Kojam's already up in as well. Neverland so far away over towards the defender spawn. And he walks the door, gets a good timing with a 3 count. Exsouls able to close this out with a lead. They started down 0-4
Switching sides.
and managed to get 7 of the next
Don't
8
stop
rounds.
fighting. You must keep going.
It is an attacker side of that, but dear God, that half did not feel close.
Absolutely. That had to have been a really, really tight one. Honestly, I think in that round, excuse me, Wagyu using his ult really early could have absolutely been a way to try and push him off of B. Due to A being an easier retake for the team, the drop is there, but the drop isn't as hard, if that makes sense. It's a lot more open, and the entry is a lot more tight in terms of post plant. B has a lot of site playing potential, so it makes the defense a little stuck in terms of a retake, especially when they get picked off like that. So hopefully this half will go a lot better for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Carol has good stopping potential, which I think Wagyu's bit into that a bit too much. The dart, dart breakers, as Exsouls gets a lot of good value off of that dart. Good information. Dean, I'm expecting to see a TP play here. From Wagyu, Dean is able to fully dodge it, forces Sauce to back up, also to use that saturate, which is a very important piece of utility when it comes to retaking over towards B. And it seems that Exsouls has a beautiful lead on. Drone spots out already over towards mid, but they decide to keep A stacked. Dash comes out over towards B and gets taken. He's trying his best to try and get to collect on the kill.
Spike down
Does
B.
find Neverland in the meantime. That's spike down out in the open. Smoke, not ideal. Over towards B. Playing,
done.
or not where Artie's playing. But Kojam's playing.
One
Gets a
enemy
second,
remaining.
gets a third. Artie now with the smoke, that's swing out. Right click, gets a headshot, gets the kill.
Last
Dean,
player
Empty
standing.
Heaven gets headshot by Artie. 1 HP for the
30
Omen.
seconds left.
Sauce has managed to make the way up flank because of the leader being dead. His trip was gone. Headshot. It's ideal. Already
was
taken
hoping-
down, and the lead is second pistol round is taken.
Artie was hoping and praying, man. He wanted him to be main, but he just wasn't, unfortunately. It looks like we got an 8-5 at the moment. You know, Exsouls took that pretty decently. It looks like now they're gonna set up their veto over on B, and they're gonna leave him alone, kind of like what they did, what Ultima did over on A, where they left Vito alone, and let him kind of be on his own site, because they know that the rest of their team is really good at retake. So Vito is the holder, and the rest of them are just the attackers, basically.
Absolutely. There is one like very key difference with how the Vito's playing on B. Is that Vito isn't on site to die. Vito is playing. The saturate is absolutely insane in the vent. It hit 3
Spike down A.
Wow.
And Dean getting a kill with a Marshall over towards heaven. Snow and Sauce just the
One enemy remaining.
managing to get those kills. The Stinger, the Spectre, sorry, is getting all these kills very confidently. Attack goes with the air. He's just jumping up the rope, spams down, gets the kill. The second round
Wow.
is the second round is won. It's a flawless, and it's very clean.
I do want to take a good time to mention that Miss Bloom on Sova is peak. Anyway, we do see a timeout starting over on Ultima side. I think that their play here, despite the fact that it is a buy in this round, is pretty guaranteed at this point, just due to the fact that their save guns are pretty spread out. We got a Marshall and a Spectre and an Ares in there, which aren't the worst things in the world, but they could be better. Though that Vandal and that Guardian could do some real big damage over on Exsouls if Ultima does not respect them. They know that they have them. They know that they got the guns. They just need to let them waste time holding, because then they'll get antsy due to the guns that they have. Well, I hope to see some pretty aggressive plays out of them. Vito's a pretty good flank watcher, and Abyss is like the biggest flank map that you could ever imagine. Flanks are about almost guaranteed on this map due to how accessible mid is from the site holds. You know, you got the one over on B that goes straight into mid, and then you got the one that goes on top of mid, which is an even bigger what's it called? An even bigger rotate, or even bigger, quicker flank than the one over on B. I am honestly really excited to see if they happen to do a flank or try to get them on their ass end or something like that.
Barry did definitely come out from Sauce, managing to make their way all the way up into Ben to get some shots. But the flash comes in beautifully from Wagyu to deny the collection of the kill. Lei manages to get out. Is very low, but you know, being alive is better than not. But the B hit has been stunted. Dean clears out B, knows there's nobody there, so it's going to allow for an early A stack to come in, potentially ahead of the A hit. But we're seeing that Exsouls is actually still a bit wary about mid and B, perhaps a bit of fear left over from Haven, where ultimately would play with the map a lot more efficiently than Exsouls was. Alone on site.
One enemy remaining.
Not able to get a kill. Neverland. Decent amount of damage being dealt, but Dak was just left alone with Marshall. Not the ideal situation to be in when you're in a 1v5 retake on the A site. So we're going to see time being bought out, potentially a kill being found or exits and whatnot, but it should be waiting. It's going to be the waiting game.
Yup, pretty basic eco. Ooh, I was gonna say Marshall could be a good retake gun if you're very particular with it, but Artie just stopped that in its tracks. 6-9, 6-9 score right now. We got 6 over on Ultima, and then we got 9 over on Exsouls. I think this round, Ultima just needs to try and get some space, because they get in, usually, like on the first 2 rounds, they would get in, and it would just absolutely fall apart. And I think now that they have a possible snowball that they could do, that op's gonna be really big damage if they don't be careful.
Absolutely. We're seeing a good amount of proactivity come out from Exsouls, which is the ideal. And Dean's op has been consistently getting value. Wow. Moment of silence. So we do see a Mata moment. Yeah, Interceptor. These Interceptors have been consistently getting value against the Ultima drone. Because every
Deploying
time
drone.
Ultima uses a drone, the Interceptor gets popped, just immediately breaks it. Drone coming out from Daka. Artie could have a good timing here through vents. If the door gets broken, Daka just not aware of this mid space being fully empty. Or at least not prepared for it, or expecting
Cover
it.
going out.
Artie gets the smoke down. Decides against committing further forward into vents. Snow is a bit low, so this B site has the potential of being taken. The dart landing in A main means that the
Our
defense is
carrier
able
is
to
dead.
reposition fully and sauce
Spike down, B.
towards mid. Artie managed
One
to get a
enemy
response
remaining.
over onto Daka,
30 seconds left.
but Dean with the op is being made aware of as Artie gets snatched out to the wall by Conan. And it gets cleaned up as well. Exsouls reach double digits, up 10 to 6. And Dean, bit of a tactical crouch, some covering fire as well.
Exos did not let that eco stop them. It did not let them halt at all. Now it looks like they're gonna hold their veto over onto A. Honestly, not that bad of an idea, especially with that Sova over there. We have seen Sova do some pretty good clutch attempts. So,
Cutting through.
and he has an Odin right now, so he has a lot higher fire rate than the rest of the team. Though it's reaction time based at that point. We see an A split, so hopefully they'll make something out of it.
I do like bringing the veto just around the map to play non-6 every round. It's what we saw be to a detriment for the side of Ultima. The split comes to fruition. Daka is ready in heaven with the Odin, kills off Lei and Artie, and that's, I mean, the legs cut out from under them. It just falls apart before it can even happen. And mid control has been reestablished for Exsouls, and you're nearly just expecting a minute-long save at this point from the side of Ultima. There's no real way to take the site here without the Omen, without the waylay, and yeah, I mean, save's been called, but I think Bunkai is just sort of fiddling around with the knives. Very pretty.
If they were to take this, Sova would need to basically use his shock dart. I don't know if he even has them, but Sova basically just needs to use his shock darts as waylay stuns and have someone else swing off of them due to them being very quick.
Yeah. 30 seconds left.
Or at least just bringing in something to, like, you have the KO, you have you have Wagyu with on the KO for a reason, to flash, to initiate, to get the site hit going. Why not bring the flashes into mid? Right click a flash around the corner, throw a left click flash around the corner, use the Omen blind from A main so that you can
10
blind
seconds
further
left.
into heaven, because as we saw, the Omen blind only covered the right part of heaven from vents. It didn't cover where Neverland was playing.
Are they doing a save?
Where Jack was playing. Sorry?
3-man save. Honestly, I've never seen that. That's honestly not.
They're safe for a minute straight.
I know, I was like, wow, so early, because with a lot of time on your hands, you can do a lot, I think, especially with 3 versus 5. I don't think that's super impossible. But, and with how many rounds they are down, I don't think that was the smartest play in the world. I think they need to try to wiggle out some rounds here, though the eco is not a bad call either. Letting them have guns against them will help, though I'm really, really anxious on how Exsouls is gonna try to win this, because Ultima needs those 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Or 5.
Yeah, Dean has made the play over towards B main, as we just saw with the TP to get info early. Spawning out none is just good early information to have. Artie just constantly jumping in this silently to grab that constant info. Interceptor is used early over towards A small win for the side of Ultima. So they continue to make their way up mid. Neither team has been really putting a stranglehold onto mid so far. I mean, Opshot comes out early. Staying out my mid, over towards mid, and Snow with the 180.
Wow.
Wasn't ready for that. Wasn't expecting Artie's TP to come from mid. Now it's only Sauce alone on the B site. Daka comes up over towards C.
One enemy
Artie
remaining.
left alone,
My
caught off
ulti's
guard,
ready.
and Sauce
Down
gets
B.
both players coming through the lane. Just while you left alone, the wings reveal, and Sauce gets the kill.
That unfortunately wasn't. That wasn't even
like
Wagon's
6
fault.
rounds in a
Match
row
point.
to
That
tie
wasn't even
himself.
Wagon. That wasn't even Wagon's fault, man. Honestly, he even tried to stop moving and everything. Like,
Yeah, the spray just wasn't able to reset in time. Exsouls has been dominant from round 5 onwards. Exsouls has been dominant.
I know.
It's just been unreal how well they've been at just retaking this like control of these rounds. They lose mid completely and then they just win on the site hold with Sauce getting all 4 of the remaining players who are splitting away. So you see a desperation goal command being used, but Lay gets killed on the jump peak by Dean. Nice on the site, but it's just Sauce, it's Dean, back and forth. Snow is here now. Monkai and Artie, 2v3, just running on the map. Snow, 2 bullets, 21 HP, and he's just not dead yet. Not on the close, you can't really say he's not dead
Last
yet.
player
Artie picks up
standing.
the op. Managed to get Kojam left in the 1v3. Gets a kill.
Spike
Artie
planted.
still with the op now, round towards front site. Takes a jiggle. Spots out Kojam. Gonna go for
One
the
enemy remaining.
not quite where the angles. Kojam's fully out right now. Spots it. Hello? Kojam!
Oh,
He's on your screen. The 1v3 was nearly there. It would have been beautiful, but
Check your corner.
oh,
Their success
I'm on left-handed
lies
mode.
in our
Bonk,
hands.
Kojam is probably on right-handed mode, and the player was covered up.
someone with right hand mode on. Yes, that was indeed covered up.
See, this is why I have left-hand mode on. Or
I prefer-
at least have one player on your team with left-hand mode, so if you're spectating, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I have it. What's it called? I personally like playing both for left and right. I think it's all up to your eye dominance. But I'm not gonna sit there and get into that. That's so basic.
I am
Valorant stuff. I'm not
partially
gonna get
blind in
into.
my left eye.
Ooh. I have
So I
issues
use
with
left-handed
audio.
mode.
I have issues with audio and I have ear issues, so this is fun.
Oh, we're seeing 57 fast. The counter is actually beautiful. Sauce just swings into Lay, gets killed, which is unfortunate. Wagyu was lurking mid on K. It worked.
I'm pulling them in.
It worked again.
Spike planted.
And now
Last
Dean
player
left in a
standing.
2v5. Dean left in a 1v5. I don't expect too much. Yeah, not much happened. Just a clean round win for Ultima. Just using the converted path to pave a way onto site for free. Dean had the TP out. The counter converted pass was good, but Sauce wasn't able to sidestep out of Lay's line of sight or crosshair quite quickly enough. Gets the head taken off.
It looks like Ultima is starting to pick up the whole B site is God thing, but I do see them starting to go over towards A. They've conditioned them to go B a couple rounds. So now, and they have 3 ultimates, 3 very big supportive ultimates that they can use. Vetoes are going to be a little bit rough to try and work around the players, but I think that they're going to do pretty good on this one.
Kojam did move over towards B site. Dark Daka gets the kill on the Neverland with the nearly had a great reposition there, but it's a bit early. Wagyu plant. Gets hit with the Astral Pull. 2 more times just for good measure. Gets pinged by the Sova throw and gets killed by the Odin.
Spike
And
down
Daka
A.
gets out, which is incredible, to say the least. And Bomb still isn't planted yet. Bomb tapped again by Lay. Already gets his head
One
cleaned
enemy
off by
remaining.
Snow. Daka gets the kill. It's gonna have to be a 1v3 from Lay. The coach subbing in for the game, but gets killed by Kojam.
Defenders win.
As Exsouls close it out 13-8, map 3. It is 11:47 p.m. on EST, and the
It
game
is
just ended now.
10:47 for me. Goodness.
Quite near midnight. Thankfully for production, game is over. Round of applause
Yep.
for them for staying up to with us. Already with I believe their 3rd match MVP of the game. So quite unfortunate to have lost in this manner, but Exsouls just were able to play together better, I'd say, just overall. Really just able to close things out cleanly when it mattered the most. They were able to close out Bind very well. And despite what happened on Haven, they were able to make it at least a little bit close enough to the point where map 3 didn't seem insanely out of their control early.
Yeah, it did seem to do pretty decently. I wonder how what's it called? I wonder how well Ultima can do if because I've seen some teams do pretty decently with triple initiators and then having a pseudo and then one of those initiate or two of those initiators being flash and then having a smokes and a duelist. And that smokes be a pseudo senti. I have seen that be pretty viable, but I'm not their coach. I don't know them personally, so I can't say what would work good for them. But that was a beautiful set of games, beautiful play by everyone, and I am forever grateful that all these players did got to play today. They all did it very, very, very beautifully.
Absolutely. They did great. They put their best foot forward for their first game in TCC.
Hmm.
There's gonna be a game stream tomorrow, right? Do we know which one?
I am unsure.
Okay, there won't be a game stream tomorrow. But there's gonna be like 3 games played tomorrow. None of them are gonna be streamed. Which is quite unfortunate. But you know, if it happens, if the game doesn't end up getting streamed, you'll know in the Discord first. Join the Discord. Join the
Yep.
Discord. That's the one. If you wanna hop on, if you wanna know when the stream is gonna be happening, or just hit the follow. You'll get notified or whatever. I'm not getting call to actions.
We're on our Discord. We got a bunch of polls. We have different types of announcements. I believe we run a couple of events every now and again, if I'm not mistaken. We have a good amount of stuff over in the Discord that may be up to par for a lot of different viewers. If you guys if you guys are wanting to come over, you'll also get instant pings, sometimes even before we start streaming, so you can catch us on the early parts of the games. If any of you guys would like to come over and chat with us, then we are all very, very open and welcome to anyone coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you all for watching. So late. We'll see you whatever games get streamed next. Might be missing the rest of this week, but next week there will be games being streamed. That's for sure.
Mhm. You all have an amazing night. Thank you for watching TCC.